Ciaffi, welcome back.
Oh, just I don't hear anything.
Oh shit, my bad. Now can you hear something? Hello?
A little louder, please.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. I'm good.
Welcome back, Ciaffi.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's always a
Um,
pleasure. Always a
yeah,
pleasure.
as always. Do you want to talk about anything you've seen recently or
Have you seen The Flash?
no?
It was absolutely horrendous.
I heard everything about it, so you can just lay off
Yeah.
the
So,
spoilers.
I mean, it was just terrible. Like, I don't know why it was even made. Like, the
Yeah.
production was so
I'm
bad.
surprised it came out.
No, yeah, it was a mess. Like, I saw it like extremely stoned.
You're a DC fan. You're like a comic book like
Yeah, I mean, I'm more Marvel. I'm kind of far behind. I mean, I'm far behind on Marvel and DC. I haven't
uh-huh.
watched anything DC since I mean, the Batman last year, but like DCU is that DCEU? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. I mean,
Since
it's a fucking clusterfuck. I don't really think they care.
yeah,
It's a mess. It's a mess with the DC universe. But
yeah,
you didn't see Shazam,
no,
right?
I heard the first one's pretty good. I'm
Yeah.
how's the
I was
second
talking about
one?
the second one's alright. It's nothing worth writing home about in like 2023, you know?
Yeah, the last one I saw was Wonder Woman 84 1984. That was okay too.
Oh, I did not like that at all. That was
It
really
was.
bad. You didn't see Suicide Squad,
Not the
the
new
James
one.
Gunn one?
I know Pete
That one's
Davidson's
good.
in that one. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I like that one.
Did you see the Harley Quinn movie came out a couple years ago?
Yeah,
That
that
movie
was
was
kind of mid,
I
honestly.
I thought it was so cringy. It was so
Yeah.
hard to watch.
I think the Wonder Woman one was honestly worse
Uh, I think we're beginning the dawn of the end of
of
superhero
superhero movies.
movies. Yeah, I haven't seen the new Guardians yet, but I heard
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
it's a tearjerker. Still not as good as the second one though.
Mhm.
I think I don't know. I have a weird take, but like I think the second one's the best one.
No, I don't think it's a weird take. I think I agree with you. No, I
I love
mean,
the ending to the second one.
oh,
You
when
know,
what's his name? The guy
Yandu.
Yondu dies. Yeah.
Yeah.
When he's like
R.I.P.
he might have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy.
Yeah. It got. Dude. I always get. Gamora was supposed to die, but like they were saving her for Infinity
Well,
War,
she did
and
die.
honestly, that works out better. Honestly, for the
Well,
best.
I know she's obviously in the new one, but it's not
Yeah.
her. It's the other
Yeah.
universe
I don't
her.
want to spoil it for you,
Yeah.
but like it does like make it clear that like it is a different Gamora. It's not the
Hmm.
same Gamora. Um, what other DC movies that came out in between then? I think that's it.
Oh, Black Adam. I haven't seen Black.
Oh,
I heard that was bad too.
I fell asleep during that one. It wasn't that good, so I didn't even bother.
Well, I'm looking forward to the new Joker though.
Oh,
What
okay,
Lady
yeah, that
Gaga
was
and
good.
Joaquin
Yeah,
Phoenix.
I mean, this Flash one, I just had no interest in, and then I heard some like really just like weird shit about it, like Christopher Reeves as Superman
Nicolas
again.
Cage, Superman.
Yeah, but like that's just I don't know. He's alive, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I heard that wasn't even done good. The Nicolas Cage thing. It
Well,
was
they
like
had
CG, right? It wasn't even like him.
yeah, it was CG. They also had I never there's that Supergirl show I never watched with the girl with the blonde
Oh
hair.
no, you're thinking of a Supergirl movie that came
Is
out
that
in
a
the
movie? I thought it was a
80s.
TV show.
There's both, but
Oh,
like he
I
was
see
with
what you.
Christopher Reeve, correct?
Yeah,
I saw
yeah, I
like
thought
leaked
that was.
footage or whatever, like on Twitter.
Well, then
Um,
Adam West was in it too. You heard his Adam West's voice,
yeah.
like the OG Batman. I think a lot of the budget for this movie went
Uh,
to like cameos. Since you have
yeah.
Gal Gadot, who's in the movie for like a minute. George
She was in
Clooney,
Shazam, by the way.
she was.
I don't want to like. Do you
Yeah,
care?
I really
Yes.
care.
She just makes a very like lame cameo at the end of the movie. Um, yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt you.
you're good. You also have George Clooney in it for less than 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, I heard about that too.
No, I
Yeah.
see. I didn't think they would bring him
Why would
back.
people go like crazy for that? Honestly, like
He's the worst
like
one, bro.
I know that's what I mean. Like
Yeah,
people like they just think like, oh, we'll just show anyone and anyone will be like anyone's a fan of something, you know?
I'm just happy it wasn't Christian Bale because I would have been really disappointed because I love Christian Bale. Probably my favorite Batman.
Yeah. I mean, he did do Thor: Love and Thunder. Not that I don't think that
He was
movie is
great in that movie though.
terrible.
He
Yeah, I
was
thought
great
he
in
was
that
pretty
movie.
good in it. There's honestly worse Marvel movies, but it's not one of the greater ones. Yeah, superhero movies are like just, on decline right now. I think it was bound to happen after Endgame.
Yeah,
When people say superhero movies, they really mean Marvel, you
yeah, for the
know?
most part.
And then like kind of DC was kind of like riding on the coattails of their popularity and like, hey, maybe some schmuck might mistaken our DC movie for a Marvel movie. Like Black Adam. That
Hmm.
could be a Marvel character. No one knows.
Well, it's kind of like
You
how
know?
don't DC and Marvel both have a Captain Marvel?
Yeah, Shazam is Captain
Yeah,
Marvel.
yeah.
Captain Marvel is the original name of Shazam, but like there was like rights issues or whatever. Shazam is not the character. Captain Marvel, Shazam isn't even originally a DC character. He
Oh,
was just
really?
his own. I forget
And
what
then DC just
comic.
bought the independent
There they bought
rights.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was like the most popular character in comic history, like Captain Marvel, even more than Superman at a time. Um, that's way back in the 40s, but like that's why they bought him out. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just like I think they're going downhill, and like I didn't even bother watching The Flash. Like I just and Michael Keaton too, going based off the trailers. He's like fighting like aliens with his Batwing in broad daylight. It just like it doesn't fit with like the Tim Burton universe. I don't think honestly.
Well, everyone's trying to involve time travel now because this movie's
Yeah,
about time travel, and we'll get into it later. I think, well, this is good. I think good segue. I think the new Indiana Jones movie is gonna have
the
time
time
travel.
travel. I
Yeah,
think it clearly we talk about the aging like
yeah.
CG that's gonna have that. I not even that's not even a prediction. I just heard
Well,
that's
it was in the trailer.
yeah
You saw Harrison Ford. Well,
yeah
Harrison Ford, I think he just hates movies. Like, have you seen his interviews before? Like,
yeah
as of late, like the past like
yeah.
10 years.
I mean he's an old man and like I don't know if you've seen his interviews beforehand. He's just kind of like less with words, more like just let me just act and let me do my thing.
He takes like 5 years off.
Fly
You
planes.
can tell when he's running out of money because he's gone
Yeah.
for like 5 years. Then he comes back with, oh, Star Wars, oh, Indiana Jones,
He's done like
Blade
TV
Runner.
recently. Like he's done like that Yellowstone spinoff, I
Hmm.
think. And I don't know. It's Jason Segel, I think. He has like that TV show with
Oh
Jason
yeah,
Segel.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, other than that, he's just doing. He came back for Rise of Skywalker. I thought he would never come back to Star Wars
That was the.
after.
Are you a fan
That
of that
was good.
movie?
Rise of
Oh,
Skywalker.
no, Last Jedi. You were a fan of.
Yeah, I don't like Rise of Skywalker at
Yeah,
all, but that's
that's
a good
terrible.
moment. I kind of like that moment. It should have, and it really didn't make sense, but
I
like
thought it was stupid.
in a movie filled with stupid shit, that I really didn't mind that. That was I didn't mind it, but
If it
like
was like Leia, that'd make more sense.
yeah, it didn't make sense that was Han Solo, but
I think if Carrie Fisher
whatever.
didn't die, probably would have been Leia.
Yeah,
That'd make a lot more sense. Personally, I don't think Harrison Ford's had a good movie since the new Blade Runner that came out, and it's
and he's
always
barely in
reboots.
that.
Yeah,
He's barely in like that new Blade Runner movie. I think he's in it for like maybe like 10 minutes at most, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. But
yeah.
you want to get
So,
into Indiana Jones?
so
Now, the creators of Jaws and Star Wars bring you
Indiana Jones.
a totally modern hero. Trust me.
If you're listening to this podcast, you saw the title, and if you happen to not know what Indiana Jones is, or who he is, or what these movies are, he's a part college professor,
he's
part
the worst college professor you could ever have. He doesn't give a shit about his students.
yeah, he's part college professor, part adventurer. This is the brainchild of Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, hot off the success of Star Wars for Lucas. Not hot off of the success for Spielberg. 1941, I believe. It was a
Oh,
flop
I haven't heard of that
flop
movie.
comedy. I think it came out in '79.
I haven't heard of that.
So he was in desperate need of a hit.
Well, I'm trying to
Um,
think what Spielberg had. Oh,
he had
when
Jaws
did
and
E.T.
Close
come out?
Encounter. Well, he came out with E.T. right after this,
Oh,
but we'll talk
after?
about
Yeah.
it. He actually came up with the idea of E.T. on the set of this
Oh,
with
really?
I think Harrison Ford's wife.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, he kept himself busy clearly, but he had Jaws before this. He had Close Encounters. He had a movie called Sugarland Express, and then he had a TV movie called Duel. So he had a few movies.
I've only
You
seen
know,
Close Encounters. I've never heard of the other ones.
Jaws. Come
No, I
on.
meant Jaws and Close Encounters.
Okay.
What were the other ones you said?
Sugarland Express. I haven't seen that one, and I haven't seen Duel either.
Yeah,
That's a
I've
TV
never heard of
movie.
those.
I heard Duel is pretty good, and that other one too. But 1941, which is the one right before Raiders, was a flop. So he was desperate need of a hit. Teamed up with Lucas. They got Harrison Ford for the role. Jeff Bridges was supposed to play him, actually.
They look kind of
I,
similar.
I think it would be good, but not as good. You know
No.
what I mean? I think Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones, and I'll say it right now. I don't think he should ever be recast if they
No,
ever decide to.
they tried to do that. Remember Chris Pratt
There
was
was
like rumored,
rumors. Yeah,
rumored.
they saw him in Jurassic World and they're like, you know,
Mhm.
you squint slightly, he could play it.
Is
But like, I
Jurassic
don't get
World
it.
also Spielberg?
Uh, no, he didn't direct. He did direct the sequel, Lost World.
Uh,
Like, his early '80s and his late '70s are just great. Like, Jaws, Close Encounters, Raiders, E.T., Temple of Doom, within a span of 10 years.
hmm
Like, insane. And not to mention all the stuff he produced. Yeah, just like this is one of the. It's hard because like they have so many accomplishments in their career, but this is one of their accomplishments in their career. I,
well, for Lucas, this is definitely number two
yeah, definitely number two for Lucas.
because I can't. What else did he do besides Star Wars and Indiana Jones?
He came out with a movie called American Graffiti.
Okay, I was that with the guy
Harris.
from Happy Days,
I'm not sure actually, but you might be right. It might be from the guy from Happy.
or Ron Howard. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, he is in it. And Harrison Ford is actually in. That's where he got his
hmm
start. It's like a 1950s throwback. I never seen it. But we'll get to it because you can see some of the influences in
Yeah.
Crystal Skull in there. Um,
Was
yeah,
he?
that he made a few sci-fi movies. He also worked with Coppola. He has a lot of behind the scenes things,
What do you
Lucas.
have?
And I feel like special effects for Lucas,
What do you have with
just like for
Coppola?
the American Zoetrope. He was running
hmm
the studio the studio with Coppola right before Godfather.
I know Harrison Ford worked with Coppola in Apocalypse Now. I think right.
Yeah, they all know each other. It's all
Yeah.
like Scorsese. They call themselves the Hollywood brats.
hmm
Scorsese, De Palma, Spielberg, Coppola, and Lucas. They all kind of mingled and like made movies with each other and kind of help each other out. And they kind of ruled Hollywood for the at least
Better part of like 30
better yeah
years.
for the better part of 30 years. So, what is your history with Indiana Jones? I guess.
As a kid,
Yeah.
I was a huge Star Wars fan, and like as all kids are, and I don't remember when I first watched Raiders, but for a while I actually preferred Raiders over Star Wars, like for like a while.
Oh wow.
But
Was it the Lego games?
so I had I have a
Yeah.
lot of notes about that.
Okay.
I had the Lego DS game,
Oh.
and did you have the Lego game?
I had it on the Wii.
That one and Lego Batman were like my favorite games as a kid, and
Also have that on the shelf.
well, I had the DS versions of all the. I had the DS Lego Batman, the
Uh-huh.
DS. I also have the Wii one too, but the DS Lego Batman, DS Lego Indiana Jones, and the DS Star Wars, like the 1 and 2. Like there's
Okay.
like the prequel one and the
Yeah.
but yeah, I was just like obsessed with all those movies. I've seen probably the original Batman movies and the Indiana Jones movies more than any other movie.
And when you say original Indiana Jones movie, do you mean the three?
The three.
The three? Okay. Um, I'm kind of similar in the same way. I love Star Wars.
hmm
That was probably the series that got me into movies, and it was only natural that like I was just gonna bleed into the next Lucasfilm thing, as everyone did because of the Lego movies, the licensing. What a great deal they had. What a great
Oh yeah.
promotion. Just the Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Batman. Those original like three movies with that franchise,
E-
incredible.
Every like franchise that kids like, or at least like like primarily boys loved, turned
Yeah.
into Legos.
Yeah, but like, now there's Lego everything. There's Lego
Yeah.
Like, Pirates of the Caribbean, there's Lego Hobbit.
Lego Incredibles.
There's literally Lego everything. But like when they originally started licensing out stuff for Lego, it was like Star Wars, it was
Mhm.
Indiana Jones, and specifically the video games and Batman. The Tim Burton Batman, and I loved how they based it on the Tim Burton Batmans. Um, but yeah, I got into the series because they made the Lego games,
Mhm.
and I decided, oh, and the new movie was coming out as well. That did help. As a kid, I, I a lot of the movies bled together
Yeah.
to me. I'll be honest, one does stand out in particular, and it's kind of hard not to like see
I
that
think I
that
know
one
what you
doesn't
mean,
blend
but
out.
I'm gonna get mad about it.
Out of the three, um, the series is inspired by like the old 1930s serials
Mhm.
of like Lucas and Spielberg's childhood. If you don't know, like back before televisions were invented, um,
You got the radios, right?
you had radios, and you went to the theater and saw little episodes of television before the big movie started. Stuff like Buck Rogers. Honestly don't know much. Flash Gordon, but
Mm.
that's more Star Wars influence. So the film kind of recreates that type of storytelling.
See, I feel like if these movies didn't come out, we wouldn't get like National Treasure
Oh,
or like the
absolutely.
Tomb Raider games.
We wouldn't get, or at least the movies wouldn't be paced as fast as they do now, because this movie, you look post Raiders
Hmm.
and pre Raiders, action movies were never the same again.
Have you seen the movie Raiders about the kids who recreated the whole movie?
Really?
It
Uh,
took them over 20
it's
years
like a
to recreate it.
documentary.
Yes, a
Okay,
documentary,
wow.
and they were like little kids,
Uh huh.
and they recreated almost the entire movie. But there's one scene that they couldn't do because like they don't have access to planes and like guns. So like over like 20 years later, they got the budget and they actually finally finished it. Like they only had like two scenes left to do,
Yeah.
and like, it's like such a crazy documentary because like they spent their entire childhood recreating it shot for shot.
Well, that's the thing with these movies. Like literally, like it's hard to. It's so intimidating to talk about it because these are some of the most influential, especially Raiders. These are some of the most influential films of all time, like for our generation and the generation before us.
Movie history. George Lucas and Steven Spielberg joining forces for the first time. Their purpose? To pay homage to the Saturday action matinee.
It starts off in like South America, right?
Hmm.
1930, no,
Six.
6.
Yeah.
What a creative way to start the movie with blending the Paramount logo
Oh yeah.
into the actual movie.
They do that every
Never seen
movie.
that done. Yeah, but like just never seen that done before, like ever. Like it's incredible and super creative.
I think the intro to this character Indy
Yeah,
is one of the most badass intros in any series. Then you have him in South America with Alfred Molina.
his first role.
Oh, is that first one? I
Yeah,
didn't even know
I
that.
think the first thing they shot was the spider scene. So
Is he actually Hispanic?
I'll look it up. I'll
Because
look
like
it
his
up.
last, I mean, his last name could be Spanish, but his first name
Yeah,
not really. But
I loved him in Boogie Nights. Ever seen Boogie
I
Nights?
have. But who do you play in Boogie Nights?
The robe guy, the druggie.
See, I've only seen it once, but I think I know who you're
Oh,
talking
you don't
about.
know what scene I'm talking about though? When they go pick up the cocaine, the fake cocaine, and the guy who's
Is
doing
this no? It's not when Don Cheadle is in that
no,
robbery, right?
this is when Dirk Diggler,
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg, walks in with John C. Riley and the guy with the robe and he's in his underwear.
Oh yeah.
That's Alfred Molina.
Okay. Yeah.
He's kind of a chameleon because
Hmm.
you don't even recognize
Yeah.
him. Also, Doctor Octopus, obviously.
Yeah.
Uh,
Shout out episode. What was that?
Episode 11.
11. Episode 11. Shout out.
Also Magnolia. He plays a bit part in that movie.
So I think the whip is one of the most iconic. When you think of like, like a weapon in a movie, you have
Oh, he's
like
Spanish. Makes sense. He's in South Africa then.
America.
South America. My bad.
That's close enough. Adios, senor. But yeah. So like you have these like these weapons that people have in movies. You have the lightsaber.
Yeah.
You have Batman's batarang. Then
Yeah.
you have Indy's whip. Definitely like top 5 most iconic weapons in movie history.
I think we can just address it right now that John Williams is like literally just the GOAT.
John Williams
When it
is
comes
just the
to-
goat of movie scores in general.
His music enhances the movie so much. It's hard to imagine them without it. It really is.
And I can tell easily when
And
it's
that's
John Williams.
that's the case to like 90% of his movies,
Mhm.
honestly. It's insane.
No, I think you can tell very easily if it's John Williams or not.
Yeah.
Because like I mean they don't sound like similar, but I
They
feel
do
like
sound similar. Like the love theme, here sounds a lot like Leia's theme
Yeah, that's true.
in Star Wars.
Mhm.
But I just love John Williams.
Oh yeah,
John
he's the
Williams.
goat of composing scores in any like in especially franchises. You have this Star Wars, Jurassic Park, Harry Potter. What else?
Superman.
Superman. Oh yeah, I forgot he had the OG Superman.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun,
Oh, and
dun, dun, dun,
yeah.
dun. He didn't do Batman.
Yeah,
That's
he did Batman.
Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman,
That's
yeah. And
that's a
Spider-Man,
close
too.
second place to be honest
Mhm.
with me. I love Danny Elfman.
I love Danny Elfman. Did you ever watch this is so off topic.
I have
Is
it there. I bought it.
Oh, on DVD?
Yeah.
Forbidden Zone?
Yeah.
Wait,
I haven't watched it, but I have
is it
it
in
there.
color and black and white?
I don't know. Probably both because it's on DVD. So
No, I know I keep asking you to watch it, but like just
I'm
the story
saving. Well,
behind
I'll
it-
save it. I'll save it for next episode. I
The story
promise. I
behind it-
bought it, so I just wanted to make
'Cause-
sure.
Yeah, Danny Elfman lost his house for making that movie.
Danny Elfman did.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I saw an interview like
I
yeah,
hope it
like-
was worth it. I'm gonna watch it soon. So.
Oh, yeah, this is before like Nightmare Before Christmas and before Spider-Man, Batman. This is like 1980. But anyway, back to Indiana Jones.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
temple set is amazing. The cinematography is great. Everything is just so iconic, like the idol.
Oh, the iconic sandbag and the.
And these movies are kind of dumb. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying that like in a sincere way
They're
because
goofy.
like they're goofy at perfect way to put it. And in a sincere way though, like the serials that they used to watch. Like really, when you think about it, how did you really think that was gonna work? The
Yeah.
sandbag thing?
I mean, what
And he was,
if he didn't pour it out? You know, he poured a little bit out.
but how did he know how much that shit weighed?
I mean, he didn't because
He eyeballed it. Like it's I don't know. It's like you'll see
Mhm.
throughout the whole movies, all the movies that a lot of his plans, and they make fun of it in later films. A lot of his plans are just like not plans at all. He's just weighing it the whole way through.
Well, what's he gonna do now?
I don't think he plans that far ahead.
Yeah.
Oh!
Screwdriver, will you?
I definitely get also like comic book feels from this movie,
Oh yeah, like definitely like
or like even like cartoon, like
yeah.
cartoony.
Well, like I said, this movie it changes like action movies forever, you
Mhm.
know, and it mixes genres so much. It's an action movie, it's a romance, it's an adventure. It mixes all these, you know, all these genres together, kind of like Star Wars, and kind of like makes the four quadrant movie in a way, a movie for everyone
Yeah,
that everyone can watch.
You got
because
your
it literally
romance, you got your action, you got your comedy.
is a great stunt when he grabs the rope and he swings into the river where the guy's name is Jock
I wrote it down. Wait.
and he has a snake on board.
Oh yeah, his pet snake Wedgie.
Snakes on a plane.
Shout out Wedgie. Yeah.
That's that's a recurring thing with Indiana Jones. He hates snakes.
Yeah, and they definitely let us know about that many
in the-
times.
Yeah. It's a funny trope.
Well,
And then-
when we get to the third movie, I
Yeah.
want to. I mean, I'll tell you later. But I
Oh.
think the way he got scared is the dumbest thing ever. But
I can't believe we forgot to mention the big boulder too.
oh yeah, iconic.
I mean, obviously, yeah. It's just so it's hard to talk about some of these things because, like, what do you say about the boulder scene?
Mhm.
Except that everyone knows it, even though they haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah.
before, even if like I think it's a great opening scene. It establishes the character perfectly, and like seeing this in 1981, I can't even imagine. Yeah, he's a professor. We learned that quickly after that.
Literally the worst. He's gone all the time.
Yeah, but you have a few of the students very interested.
Oh,
in
they're
him.
they're in love with him. Like another
Shit,
iconic
fuck.
scene with the girl's eyelids saying "love you."
That's another thing I love about the series too. Like they already established we're like neck deep in his like career, kind
Mhm.
of like
Oh, yeah.
kind of like Star Wars.
Oh,
like,
he's already a legend.
yeah, like I'm surprised they didn't do prequels to Indiana Jones. You know,
Mhm.
instead of
I mean, they
they
kinda
did.
Yeah.
They did with the TV show. I haven't seen it though.
Oh, I know. There's even is it cartoon or?
There's a whole entire 22 episodes. I guess we can talk about it now. There's an Indiana Jones TV show
didn't know
called
that.
Young Indiana Jones. I know. When I was doing my research, I just found out about it. Each episode is like an hour 20, so it's each episode's like a movie. 22 episodes, and it goes from his childhood, like
Yeah.
around Last Crusade, to when he was in the war in World War One.
Oh yeah.
Was that ever acknowledged?
Well, I remember it in the third one.
third one?
It was-
Okay.
No, but that was 1912. I watched this. Yes, I watched it
Yeah.
yesterday again. But yeah, so that's a little before World War One.
But did they mention he was a vet?
They mentioned in Crystal Skull he was in World War Two.
No, yeah. But it turns out in this universe, in this young Indiana Jones, he was actually a soldier in World War One.
That makes sense.
And one of the later episodes, I didn't see it, but I just saw like on a little screenshot they had.
Mhm.
I might actually want to give it a try. He's like in 1920s Hollywood. It's just interesting. I wonder.
Who
how-
plays Indy?
I honestly don't know. Some no-name actor. Not River Phoenix.
Well,
that would be
yeah.
cool. That
I
would
mean,
be
he
really
probably would have if he didn't,
die. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know how he got into all this. Like, I don't know where he learned all these martial arts or like at least how to fight. He's an archaeologist. When you think archaeology, you think of like a guy in a corner.
But we don't need to know.
just
That's the thing. Is
reading all
like
day.
this feels like his Indiana Jones's last big adventure, and it's the
It's the
first
first
movie.
one, yeah.
Cause like what was that idol? We don't know what was going on in the
Well-
beginning. Like we don't know why he was there.
I like that though. I like how they
I
don't
know,
say
but that
anything.
just shows that like
Yeah.
he's just been through all this stuff.
yeah,
He's
he's been
done
through
this
all
a
that.
bunch of times already. And then the second one proves that he has been through this a lot.
How old is he? He has to be at least like, I think he's at least late 30s in this, because in the
I'm
third
assuming
movie,
I'm assuming he's like 30 when he's like in the 30s.
well,
So I'm guessing
yeah,
he was wait, no.
because
He was born in the 1800s for sure
because in
because of
1912
1912 he
he was
looked
like
pretty
18 or at least
15, I would
15.
say.
I don't know about that.
Hollywood.
Hollywood, yeah.
So I would say, and he's a Boy Scout too,
Oh
so he
yeah.
can't be that old. I would say he's 15 and 19. We can look it up.
So he was born in 1897.
Yeah, I'll look it up. But
Right, so 1897 is our guess.
your guess,
Yeah.
1897. Okay. He was born on July 1st, 1899.
Oh, we were close. So
Yeah.
he was 13 in 1912.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, all right, I guess that works.
That's Hollywood for you. I told you. So yeah, they explain the Ark of the Covenant. Kind of the only like exposition-y scene of the whole film. Indiana Jones explains what it is. And the CIA explains that the Nazis are after it.
So it's always the Nazis, man. Like Nazis and Soviets, they just want to take over the world.
You know, Spielberg as a Jewish man, it's probably especially personal for him to have, the Nazis as the villain.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna set it in like around this time, like yes,
have to,
yeah,
yeah.
it has to. And then he goes to what's it called, Nepal,
Nepal, yeah, because
to meet.
because his teacher, I think Abner Ravenwood,
Yeah,
his daughter, or I guess he thought he still lived in Nepal.
Yeah.
Not sure where, just some like I guess like mountain town, and it cuts to probably my favorite indie girl.
Yeah.
We're gonna call them indie girls in this.
honestly, but she is.
she
they,
is the
they
indie
make
girl.
they try to make her out. The fourth one kind of makes her the indie girl.
Yeah.
Retrospectively, there's more there because there's a history beforehand.
Yeah.
With them, it's not like their first time meeting like the next two. Heavy drinker.
Oh, yeah, she
Especially how
outdrank
small she is, like,
Nobody tells me what to do in my place.
Fräulein Ravenwood, let me show you what I am used to. Nick!
Oh, I think the Nazi with the glasses in this movie is very memorable.
Yeah. Visually.
Visually, yeah.
But like they're not very like complex at all. And
Yeah.
that's by nature, honestly. And like that's not what's important about the film.
I only know the evil Nazi guy's name. I don't know if they even say it.
He's like a Gestapo type of guy, I don't know, but he looks evil and
He's just so scary.
Yeah, and he makes the most of his part,
Yeah.
man.
There's always like a big guy fight in these movies. Like you have like you have like your underlings, which are like you just throw them, they're dead. But then you have like a big guy, like you have that guy, and then Temple of Doom you have one.
Yeah,
It's
the
like
whip
an actual
guy.
fight. Yeah.
Yeah, and the third one has the tank Nazi guy, I
Oh
guess.
yeah.
But he's not really a big guy.
Well, yeah, she has the necklace. I don't know how the Nazis find out that she has it.
Oh yeah.
They just kind of show
They
up.
just find out, it's a chase.
That happens
Well,
a
they
lot.
follow Indiana Jones. Remember?
I'm trying to remember.
The trench coat guy is on the same plane as Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in these movies, you're gonna see that people just know where he is all the time.
It's very convenient, and that's one thing I have to like address about this film. Like, if you haven't seen these films, you gotta just go with it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not into it, I totally understand, but like, it's convenient. And it, like I said, Indiana Jones most of the times really doesn't have a plan.
No.
He kind of just wings it. The trench coat guy gets the thing burned on his hand so they can read it.
Yeah.
The shootout's great, right out of a Western. I love how the whiskey like creates a line like of flames and shit like that. Super cool. And then we're in Egypt.
So
Where we have my favorite scene, honestly.
Which one?
The Cairo chase.
Oh, dude, it's one of the funniest chase scenes I've ever seen in my entire life.
She hits a guy with a frying pan. I found that hilarious. Of course, you have the iconic swords guy
Oh yeah.
who shoots him. Yeah,
Well, did you know that Harrison Ford had a stomach flu that day?
yeah.
Oh yeah, I think
It
everybody
was,
knows
it was
that.
well, no, I'm just like, I just know,
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you're right. And it was supposed to be like an extended sword fight scene, which we do eventually get.
Yeah. Well, I think it's so much
unfortunately, it's
better.
not Harrison Ford doing the sword fighting.
When Indy hits or shoots someone, That's on one of the trucks.
Yeah.
He had the bullet wound on his chest before he was shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know. I just noticed
Oh.
that for the first time. Like you could tell that they already put like the makeup and all the effects on his shirt before the bullet hit him.
When Marion goes into one of the baskets, they take the basket and he starts looking for him.
Yeah, knock all
But
those baskets
everyone else
over.
has a fucking basket, and the music is perfect when it goes along to this. A gnarly explosion too, with the truck when he
Hmm.
thinks Meriden is dead.
So no, yeah, that part was confusing because like did the Nazis get confused also with the baskets?
Yeah, I don't know how she survived, but honestly, like I said, just go with it.
Yeah.
Um, I actually don't. I think it might have been like a wrong basket. It might have been like she was on another truck,
Yeah.
perhaps, or something
Wait,
like
I
that.
forget how it blew up.
I don't know.
I don't know.
He somehow thinks she's dead, um, and it's played off very seriously. And to be totally honest with you, I I,
You don't care.
I don't care. It's too early on in the movie,
Yeah.
and it seems a little bit kind of silly to be like, oh, I feel. And she just got introduced literally in the
Like
last.
15 minutes
Yeah.
ago, yeah.
I mean, it is also very tropey, very serialized. So like, I guess it's
Well, I mean,
fair enough.
it's kind of obvious that she lives. Just like with me, if I don't see the death, they're still alive.
Yeah, and it's something straight out of like a western too. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I thought you were dead.
Hmm.
No,
Oh,
I've been here the whole time.
there
You
are a
know?
lot of fake out deaths in this series. Like, there's
Mhm.
at least like
Yeah.
10 of them.
Um, and then he makes friends with a monkey.
Well, the
Well, he
monkey's
makes
a
my
spy
friends with a
though.
monkey before, but like, yeah, he's a Nazi monkey.
Yeah,
He's not
because
a good monkey.
when they're in Cairo, he has a friend. I think his name is Sela.
I remember the eye patch guy. Oh,
No,
Thala,
Sala.
his Cairo friend. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know, but like they kind of mess it up because in this movie he's from Cairo, but in the Last Crusade he's from Turkey.
The guy who owns the monkey in the Lego
That,
games, he
yeah,
was
yeah.
named Monkey Man. I always
Oh,
remember
I do
that.
remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
I'll bring up some Lego references
Oh,
every time
I
I
have a bunch
remember.
of no Slayer references.
The monkey tries to poison. Well, actually, no.
No,
Someone
he tries,
tries to
yeah,
poison the
the
dates,
dates, and
and
then
the monkey dies
dude,
as a result.
I feel bad for the monkey. I mean, the monkey though, kind of a snitch.
Yeah,
On Marion.
yeah. I mean, at least it's a real monkey.
Yeah. Oh, there's another thing.
Yeah.
When the monkey's on the eye patch guy's shoulder,
Monkey
and
Man.
Monkey Man, yeah, that's him. And when they walk into that bar, and
Oh yeah, the monkey does this hail.
I heard somewhere that's with like 80 shots
Yeah.
to do. So that's one of the funniest scenes I think.
They go to the digging site.
Yeah.
Holy shit, the amount of extras in the like it's just so impressive. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
something out of Lawrence of Arabia.
Mhm.
Haven't seen that movie, but I've seen enough stills to know.
It's really good, really long.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you
It's
seen
like,
it?
It's like 3.5 hours long.
Am I calling a spade a spade? Is that right? Like,
Yeah.
is it similar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you get the white guy in Egypt and all the other like extras who probably are just like locals from Cairo.
Yeah.
From, like the area.
They filmed in the same place they filmed Tatooine in Star Wars. Same area.
I thought it was
Tunisia.
Oh, Tunisia.
Yeah,
I
they
was gonna
filmed in the
say,
same
yeah.
area. When he's having the rocket launcher, when
Mhm.
Indiana Jones holds the rocket launcher, that's the same canyon where R2D2 gets
Yeah.
invaded by the Jawas.
Felt very familiar.
Yeah, it's very. I guess it's Lucas's favorite spot to film. He has the staff. He finds out where the Ark is located. He waits until night to see where it goes.
Well, my thing is, why didn't he wait for them all to leave?
Well, they were gonna find it anyway. It looks
Yeah.
like they were getting close to
That's true,
finding
that's
it. You
true.
know what I mean?
Hmm.
He finds it. His friend helps him out, and it just looks so fucking cool. You
Oh
know?
yeah. Oh, when
wanna
they
talk
open
about that a little
when they
bit?
open the top and there's that statue just like
Yeah, the
piercing,
Sphinx.
yeah, the
Yeah,
Sphinx,
yeah, yeah. I just love it all. And then the Nazis find him. They have Marion too. It's funny. He finds Marion and he's like, "Oh, I can't save you right now.
Well,
I'm
I
this
mean,
close."
he's not wrong for doing that because
Yeah.
oh no, there's this scene where Marion
He's
gets
got a
drunk
mission.
with because you know how we already know from the Nepal scene that she has a very high tolerance for alcohol, and she's drinking with the French guy. I think that scene's really unnecessary, but they have it anyway.
I kind of like it.
We forgot to mention one of the most iconic lines in the series at this part.
What?
Snakes. Why'd it have to be
These
snakes?
I remember in the Lego game you had to be a different character
Oh,
to
really?
interact with snakes. There was some characters that were scared of spiders, some characters that were scared of snakes,
Well, yeah, it was
some
rats
characters that were
too.
afraid of rats.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the third one.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might just pop in Indiana Jones after this.
Dude,
Lego Indiana Jones after
just
this.
play the entire game, man. Just get all those. There's so many unlockables in that game.
Yeah.
I remember at least the DS version,
Yeah.
the last unlockable character is I mean,
Is it Batman or
no,
something like that?
it's the
Because
I
Indiana
mean,
Jones was the last unlockable character in Lego Star Wars.
oh really?
Yeah.
No, I remember the last unlockable character, at least for the DS version, is from the Last Crusade when the villain gets the wrong cup and he turns into like a skeleton.
Oh, I would think I remember
I think
that.
that's the
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
unlockable, that or clown. I think it was
Yeah.
either one of those.
I vaguely remember the DS game, but I remember the original trilogy
Mhm.
Lego Star Wars DS game. That game
Yeah, that's
was
the one I had.
weird as
Yeah.
fuck. That game was really weird. It was not like the console
Oh yeah,
versions at all.
it's so much different. It's like the graphics are not great, and there's just so many bugs in those games.
They also had a Game Boy Advance version, and I
Oh, probably
also
even
had
worse.
that, and it was awful.
Was that the first Lego game?
No, it came out around 2006, and they were still making Game Boy Advance games
Uh,
at that time. Back to Indiana Jones.
We're gonna get sidetracked a
That's
lot.
that's
We-
totally
we
fine.
always
That's
do
totally
that.
fine. Meriden, they drop Meriden with Indy. They escape. There's like a sequence with a lot of dead corpses.
Oh yeah, that's another trope that we're gonna see a lot.
I love that though. That's one trope I love. I
Yeah.
love when the series gets like scary.
That sequence was much more horrible than the snakes for me because it was physically very demanding. I was alone in the catacombs, and we did a whole sequence of me running through the catacombs and various things happening. But I found that much more difficult than the snakes. I'll take the snakes any day of the week.
And action.
They try to get on a plane to escape.
Mhm.
That doesn't really work out for them.
Yeah, that was the last scene that those kids had to film 20 years later because they didn't have access to like an airplane like that.
Yeah.
So that's the last thing they had to shoot for
The guy
that.
gets chopped out by a fucking propeller. I fucking love it. This is a family movie. It's wicked. Indy takes the punches really good too. That
Oh,
guy's
yeah.
a fucking tank.
Well, you can tell that the guy was like an old timey boxer because he had that like 1930s boxing stance with no gloves when they
Yeah.
like
He had that
bare knuckle.
mustache too, like a vaudeville. And the explosion that happens when the plane explodes because the truck
Yeah.
explodes and it follows through the gasoline. Love it. That whole sequence, you could say it's unnecessary because they don't get on the plane
No,
at all.
yeah.
Nothing happens.
Yeah, that
But it's
was-
awesome. Like it fits the movie. It doesn't need to be there, but it's lesser without it. You know?
Well, I mean, I don't get why he tried to steal the plane anyway because he doesn't know how to fly. I mean, like later on, I think he learns how to fly, but I mean, I don't know.
No, after that
Right.
is the iconic I think is a close second to like the best scene in the movie, the horse race, the horse chase
Oh,
with the
yeah.
trucks and stuff like
Mhm.
that. I think everyone points this as being the best scene, but I kind of like the Cairo chase better. Like he gets shot and then one of the Nazis punches him in the arm. And it's
Yeah,
brutal.
dude, that's fucked up.
Yeah, he is in front of the truck, and they try to ram him into the front of the other car, so he has to go under the truck. The stunt work, like,
Yeah.
holy shit! And this is something straight out of a western.
They know the moves, but at 25 miles an hour on a dirt road, they don't always make it.
Hold it, Terry.
Nobody has a gun at your head, and nobody's making you do this stuff.
Terry Leonard will try to top one of the classic movie stunts.
It's similar to a stunt that Yakima Canutt did back 42 years ago with a stagecoach, but we're doing it now with the truck.
Yeah, with stagecoaches and horses and stuff like that.
Well, even under like trains too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, it's so good, and but it modernizes it for a 1980s audience, which is interesting because it's a period piece as well.
Yeah.
And then they get on the ship.
Mhm.
He says bye to his friend. Marion gives him a little kiss. He's happy about that.
Oh, she gave him 3 kisses.
Oh,
One
yeah.
for you, one for your kids, one for your wife.
Right. Yeah, but that lasts not too long because, the Nazis are always on the tail. And the Nazis check everywhere. Somehow, Indiana Jones hides away from everything in the ship. No one can find him. They
Yeah, he was in, I think, an air duct, and then remember that one guy threw like a cigarette at his head.
yeah, like
Yeah.
just okay, whatever. But and they believed the captain.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I killed him, and like,
Okay.
okay, yeah, sure, you killed him. It's kind of like James Bond. That's another big influence with
Yeah.
Indiana Jones. Like, I'm gonna drop you in this cage. You'll see. You'll get out of this predicament, and I'm not gonna
Now I
watch
gotta
you.
watch you.
I'm not gonna watch you die.
I mean, I'm guessing they're huge fans of at least Lucas and Spielberg because they hire him later on, James Bond.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the opening of Temple of Doom, straight out of a James Bond movie. So yeah, and he swims all the way to the German submarine. Indiana Jones is a fucking superhero, clearly. All of a sudden, the movie turns supernatural,
Oh yeah.
and we get a terrifying sequence. I guess this is Spielberg's preview to like Poltergeist, but fuck, man.
What are those ghosts?
They're just Ark
Are
ghosts.
they just ghosts of the people
Ark of
who
the
are
Covenant.
holding the?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't care. It's horrifying.
No, it was pretty good even today, honestly.
The finale of Ghostbusters kind of reminds me of this movie.
Oh,
The
yeah.
ending of this movie.
100%.
You know, I feel like they did take a
Definitely
lot
inspiration
from
for
that.
this.
Yeah.
Do they ever confirm what was in the Ark? It's supposed to be the Ten Commandments, right? What they supposedly had to hold the Ten Commandments when they went from Egypt to Israel to the homeland. You know, like when Moses, split the Red Sea.
Right.
Yeah, that's what they were holding it in, apparently.
Okay.
But I don't know how it got back to Egypt though. So I
Oh.
thought they went to the promised land was Israel.
So she's back in America. Looks like they're about to consummate Shia LaBeouf, and then
Well, I think they
end of the movie.
I think they conceived him. If I remember them, like it was like a little bit before their marriage.
Yeah.
I think he left her before Last Crusade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
I think so.
he has new love interest in the Last Crusade. So
Yeah. And the movie ends pretty ominously. Huge warehouse of cases, and that's another thing that says like, look how many adventures this man has been
yeah.
on. You know, all those cases are probably some of the
Well,
stuff he's found.
I think that's Area 51.
We don't know that
Oh,
at
not
that
yet,
point,
yeah.
but like, yeah, it's supposed to be Area 51. It's, plays into the alien conspiracy of the 50s.
Harrison, have you ever done anything like this? Dragging behind a car?
Dragging behind a car. Dragging behind a car.
Roll cameras.
No? Just one more useless experience.
I'm sure it's not dangerous.
See, if it was dangerous, they would have waited till we got more of the movie done.
This is a bona fide classic, and
Oh, yeah.
I know it's not like a hot take or whatever, but
No, it's
not for this movie in particular. I think this is just
it's one of-
revolutionary,
It's
and
one of not of maybe even like one of the best movies to involve treasure seeking or just
I can't think of anything else. Like the fact that I'm not even interested in any other like I've never seen National Treasure. I think I gave it a try. I got bored of it.
There's a lot of prelude in those movies.
Yeah.
No, but and you can tell too that they knew how successful Star Wars was.
Yeah.
And they used those components.
Yeah.
Just like in.
I'm sure
on
they were
Earth.
more confident about this being a hit than Lucas felt about Star Wars being a hit. And this was a hit. This was the #1 movie of 1981. It dethroned what movie did it dethrone? Cheech and Chong, Nice
Oh.
Dreams, right before the hand.
Shout out Cheech and Chong.
It opened with Clash of the Titans and The History of the World Part 1. Have you seen any of those?
Oh, I've seen History of the World Part 1 with what's his name? Mel Brooks.
Yeah, came out the same weekend. 81 was a kind of a lesser year in the 80s, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't even, was The Thing 81 or
The
no?
top 3 movies of that year, at least in the U.S., was at number 3 Superman 2, the original. We were talking about Superman
That's
before.
actually a good movie. Like the first 2 Superman movies are actually
Yeah.
pretty good.
Last time I seen it, I was like 12, maybe. It was a long time ago. A movie called On the Golden Pond by an older Katharine Hepburn and Henry Fonda. So
I have no idea.
and Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
So
Checks out.
clearly Hollywood was going through like a transitional period where it was like big blockbusters and then like old movie stars as well. After 6 weeks after dropping off of the #1 spot, it came back into #1 on the 6th week and then stayed there for 9 weeks. Never will happen ever again like that. Like movies are nowadays popular the most on the first weekend and kind of trickle off afterwards.
That happened with Avatar though when they re-released it like a couple years ago, and it went
Yeah,
number
it
one
went
again.
up. That's 2009. That's not a couple years
No,
ago.
I meant when they re-released it.
Oh, did it?
I think I meant mine went number one.
Oh yeah, but that's different. I'm talking about like a new movie coming out. It's still on its original run.
Oh.
It still being in the top 10 and then it going back up to number 1 after being out for 6 weeks. Like imagine a movie, this movie being out for more than a month and being like, maybe I should go check it out now. Everyone else is checking it out right now 6 weeks
I
later.
wonder if Infinity War or Endgame had that happen.
No, it didn't.
No.
All the opening weekend. Trust me, everyone sees the opening weekend now because of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and more theaters exist now. Digital projection, you know, it's a lot less expensive. But, you know, back in the day, there's a good chance your Raiders screening was just sold out all the time. You know, you couldn't get a seat. This played for over a year in theaters. So
I mean, I know a lot of the Star Wars movies are the same way. They played for over a year in the theater. Do we still have ranking on this podcast?
Yeah.
So what's the rating system now? Do you still have?
I want to change my rating system. I've been trying to like figure it out, but like for now, let's just do numbers. So
out of 10?
Out of 10. What would 10? Okay. 10.
Yeah, 100%.
10 for me too. I've seen it too many times to really like, you know, rewatch it so much.
It's one of those movies where I can just put on. I don't really have to like really watch it because I've seen it so many times.
Oh, like this is a good part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, after the success of Raiders, Spielberg went off to do a little movie called E.T. Like I said before, he came up with the idea during Raiders with Harrison Ford's wife, or then wife.
I wonder which part inspired them, like filming.
I don't know, actually. It's my favorite Spielberg movie, to be honest with you.
Mine's probably,
I know that's a hot take.
Mine's probably Jaws, but
yeah,
I respect that.
And people hate on E.T. now. They say it's like too sincere or too much like a kid movie. I'm like,
well, it is a kid's movie, but
but that's what Spielberg is. That is what Spielberg is. That's what Spielberg is the strongest when he's working with kids.
My favorite
kids
movie is Schindler's List.
Well, people do think Schindler's List is one of his favorite movies, but that's like a totally different part of his career, which I think the movie that we're gonna get to, Temple of Doom, is a turning point in his career, and he never goes back to making anything like this ever again. Gone are the violent movies of Jaws and Raiders and Temple of Doom after this. I guess I should start with, this is my favorite Indiana Jones movie. I don't care what anyone says. I've gotten shit for it all my life.
Rewatching it, I love this movie,
but
there's a character in this movie that I cannot stand.
Willie?
Yeah, she's the most annoying character in any Indiana Jones movie.
Don't mind Willie, and here's why. This movie's pure chaos, and she adds an element of chaos to the movie that I personally appreciate. Some may not, because she is made to be annoying.
Yeah, I know that, but it's just like, she's like the Jar Jar of this movie.
Honestly, I'm willing to look over her character because everything else is so... And she's not even, like, I'm not even looking over it. It's just a part of the experience that I don't mind.
Yeah.
This movie is just, to me, as a kid, was my favorite. And what I think about still to this day as what Indiana Jones is. And I know that's crazy because a lot of people think, oh, Indiana Jones punching Nazis. That's half the movies. What are you talking about? I'm sorry. That's half the movies.
Well,
who decided that this is what Indiana Jones should be doing?
There really isn't a villain in this movie.
No, there is.
Molaron.
Well, yes,
he is.
Got him. Well, he looks like. Have you seen the Scooby-Doo movie?
Oh, the tattooed guy in the Scooby-Doo movie. Yo, this in the Scooby-Doo movie.
Because they're summoning, like the monster.
Yes. And they have like the sucky, like they have like this thing like attached to the heart.
They're hypnotized too.
Oh my god. Temple of Doom in the first Scooby-Doo movie, not so different, honestly. And they were childhood classics.
Yeah, they are.
I love I've seen this movie the most. I think this was on TBS the most when they played Indiana Jones.
Probably when I've seen the second most.
In some major cities, fans waited in line all night to be the first to see Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
I closed my eyes once.
it was too gross. I just couldn't stand it. And if I were 10 years old and saw it, I would have nightmares probably for a year.
It drains you as you watch it, you know. It's really an exciting experience, and I plan on seeing it again.
Were you turned off by any of it?
Nuh-uh. Nope.
I've already seen it twice.
This one twice?
I've already seen it twice. It showed at 9:30 and then again at 12, and I was here for both of them.
Any disappointments for you?
No. I liked it.
How about you?
It's as good as the first one, if not better.
I thought the action was real great. I think it's a lot better than Raiders of the Lost Ark. I liked them both, though, so I'm just thinking.
It doesn't feel like an Indiana Jones movie, in my opinion. No, it's a good movie.
See, here's the thing. Why is that?
Because
Why is that?
They're in one place almost the entire movie.
That is only a rule that is established in the third one. Who said that it has to happen like that? Why can't he just go on a single adventure? That's why I love it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it is one adventure and it's contained in this crazy, insane, bizarro, surreal, otherworldly place. I get it. It's not at all accurate to real life at all.
Yeah.
But like, did you not see what happened at the end of the last movie? It attempts, at least, and I love it. You may not agree that it matches it, but it attempts to do something different, but also match up to in scale as big as the first one.
No, I do love this movie. I'm not saying anything bad about that. But when I think of Indiana Jones, I think of like a guy who just goes around the world. He's just he's in China and India.
Yeah,
that's about it.
I get
It's not a bad thing, you know.
I get it. It's just you could say like the first one. Most of the time, it's in Egypt in the desert.
Yeah,
you know.
that's true.
After he goes to Nepal, where else does he go other than Cairo? And that's like a whole hour of the movie. Like I'm gonna defend this movie, man. I love Raiders, and I'm not shitting on Raiders. And I'm just saying, to me they're equal.
I definitely prefer Raiders, but this movie though is I remember I haven't seen this movie in a while.
Yeah.
I watched it yesterday, and I know there's a lot of hate for it, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hate this.
Okay, there's one thing there's one thing I can't defend. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
It's hard to defend it, and I'm not gonna.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's so good, man. I love everything about it.
The first time around, I thought we should really meet Indiana Jones in action with his hat and his leather jacket, and his pouch and his belt and whip. But as time wore on and we did so well with the first film, I was a little braver with the second one. And George said, "Come on, Steve, please, let's just show him in a tuxedo. Let's present Indiana Jones in the best possible light. Let's show this guy as a glamour hero." So I said, "All right, George," and we went ahead and designed a 15 to 18 minute third act climax from an unseen Indiana Jones adventure. You won't have to wait for the exposition and the development of all the characters. All you get is the dessert.
We'll start with the opening.
The opening is bizarre.
Very bizarre. I don't know. It's not something you typically see in an Indiana Jones movie, but I think it sets the tone. It's like these movies are homages to other movies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna have homages to like older 1930s movies as well, like The Gold Diggers of 33. And
the dance number is fine. I just really don't like Willie at all.
Oh
And
yeah,
I like the
dance scene. She ruins the dance number for you.
Even like the last Crusade, like at least all the indie girls,
Yeah.
they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They have an understanding archaeology. Willie just is there for the most
Yeah, but
part.
like that's what makes that is what makes it interesting within the series.
No, they pulled a little trick on me. They made him 3 years younger. 3 years younger? 2 or 3 years younger than he was last time. Now, I don't know why they would do something like that. Because I got 3 years older and the character got 2 years younger, which makes me 5 years older than I should be for the character. And I can feel the difference.
Notably, 1935, not 1936.
Yeah, a lot of people, I realize this. I didn't even know it was a prequel till much later. Sad though, because it's like, what happened to Short Round after this movie?
I actually don't like to think that Short Round went into the U.S. because that wouldn't go right for him in World War II.
But he's Chinese though.
You think 1940s America cares?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Where would Short Round be safe, honestly? Because Shanghai in the 1940s isn't too good either. Oh.
No.
Uh,
Honestly, though, I think he would have been okay in the U.S. because
yeah.
there was a thing in the U.S. I think during World War II where there was like a movement where they protected people who were Chinese because they were getting confused.
Oh, you think
'Cause,
Indy
like,
would have his back on that?
100%. I think, but I just find it sad how like I think Indy should have like adopted him or like maybe like had him along in. I mean, I guess
Yeah,
in
maybe
Raiders.
we don't know. Maybe he did adopt him. He never mentions it. And you think he was gonna take him on a journey to find the Lost Ark after he went through that traumatizing experience in India?
Well, are we gonna have a tangent about Kiki Kwan or are we gonna?
Sure.
I
First
haven't-
off, I love how now he's a big star,
Yeah.
and people who are trying to reclaim this film now and trying to reclaim Short Round is actually, oh, he's alright.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I was surprised.
I
people
was
didn't
a
like him.
Short Round fan. Yeah, I know. People
love
don't
Short
like
Round.
people didn't like Short Round for the longest time. The opening sequence is some of my favorite shit.
Oh, I think after the dance, minus Willie.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most like suspenseful openings in the series.
Straight out of a Bond movie.
Well, as a kid, I wanted that the table, when they like put the diamond on there.
Yeah.
As a kid, I wanted that so bad. I actually got one for my table as a kid.
Yeah.
And I used to always like pretend I put a diamond on there, and I just roll it on the thing.
Did you know that all three of the characters are named after dogs? Willie, Indiana, and Short Round.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I forgot to mention that George Lucas originally wanted the character's name to be Indiana Smith. It was named after his dog Indiana, but thank God they went with Jones. Sounds a lot better than Indiana Smith.
A lot better.
The fight scene,
Well,
the opening fight scene. What do you think about that?
I love the scene as a whole, just not the dance. I mean, it's not bad. I just find it kind of just out of place, which is not a bad thing. Who's that waiter guy?
I always saw that guy as like the Alfred Molina equivalent. Like, oh,
just some guy.
Shish kebab kill. Very silly.
It's so funny though.
Very silly.
But I love when they shoot his assistant with the champagne bottles going off.
Yeah, and it makes
think
the
that's
same.
really
Yeah,
good.
it's very clever. I love the composition when the balloons fall and all the balloons, and it's just such a great visual. And I love how he uses the gong shield, the Tommy gun.
Well, I don't know why when the balloons fall, it kind of reminds me of The Godfather Part 2.
Yes.
New Year's, and he's like, "I knew it was you, Fredo."
Yes.
I don't know why. It reminds me of that.
There's a New Year's Eve sequence, I believe, in either New Year's or 4th of July sequence in Phantom Thread that reminds me of it too. Like, but just all balloons and confetti falling. I love the visual, and like it's something you just name another movie where you see like a ballroom fight direct, and it's Spielberg. That's the thing. I think people give this movie a lot of hate because they rather see his talents somewhere else and not like some cheesy schlocky B movie. This is a B movie.
It definitely is more of a.
This
B
is
movie
the
than
most
first
B
one.
movie out of the first one, and I don't care. But Frank, I embrace that because to me, like I said, they're not very like thought provoking movies. So like if they indulge in the B movie campiness, I'm here for it. And you know what the club is called? Club Obi-Wan.
Really?
Yeah. It says it throughout the whole thing. He escapes with Marion, and we get introduced with Short Round.
Oh, Marion?
Marion. Oh, Willie.
I wish it was Marion, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say that the only thing that I think is kind of a plot hole in the beginning, when he gives Lau, that like the ashes of like the first I think it's like Ming Dynasty ruler. Why would he do that? He's a very it belongs in a museum kind of guy. I mean, I guess it's the prequel. I mean, no, even like in the third one when he's a kid, he still has a museum.
Yeah, museum
mentality.
standpoint. But it is a good point. It is a good point.
I saw that. I'm like, he's very like he got the diamond. I don't.
Well, you know what? He always fails. He kind of fails at his first mission. He failed at his first mission in the beginning, and then he fails here because he doesn't get the Ming Dynasty or the jewel. Whatever happened to the?
I don't think they ever got it.
Yeah,
it was on the ground, and then Willie was trying to get it, and then all the ice falls and the balloons fall.
You know what? Maybe throughout the whole Indiana Jones canon, we only seen the successful missions, and everything else he's just failed at.
But he fails in Raiders, and
well, he gets. That's right. Think about it. Raiders of the Lost Ark would have not changed a thing because the Nazis would have gotten hold of the Ark. And they would have opened it. They would have all died.
Well, Hitler would have died too. No.
I'm sorry. We're kind of ruining the movie for you guys. After the chase, we meet Dan Aykroyd,
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Did not know
I forgot he was in that movie. Yeah.
Didn't know it was him. For literally found out this week.
Well,
I did not know it was him. He
When
had
I
a
watched
British
it-
accent. It was crazy.
When I watched him, is that Dan Aykroyd? I'm like, no, there's no way because he has a British accent.
Yeah.
But in that scene, when they go on the plane,
Mm-hmm.
I love the scene. He's like, "See you later, Lau," and then like, he says his full name.
And it's like a comic laugh too. His
Yeah.
eyes are lit
Oh,
specifically. It's so good.
He's like a cartoon villain.
Actually, there was supposed to be a plane sequence chase after they got on a plane. It was
Yeah, they
supposed to
can't
be
just let him
shootout.
go on though. They
Yeah.
didn't say anything.
Don't worry, we'll get one in the next one. But
Yeah.
it was cut for budget reasons. Apparently, they refuel in Chunkin.
Oh yeah. So, no,
So-
I love how with the map sequences, like they show where they stop.
Yeah.
But like when they stopped, did they not realize like Indy, Willie, and Short Round?
They were
that
all
they're
asleep,
on-
probably.
Yeah.
You know, they just went through a crazy high-speed chase. I wonder what Willie's thinking, because she probably thought, like, I had this good gig for this mobster boss in Shanghai, and now I'm just, like, being taken on an adventure with this
I
random
wonder,
archaeologist.
How did she get to Shanghai? She's from what, Missouri?
I
How
don't know.
do you get there?
I'm told it's like a mob thing, probably.
Maybe.
You know? Crazy that they jump out of the plane with a life raft.
Oh, yeah. This part is weird because they jump out with nothing.
Yeah.
And then later on in the movie, Willie changes like 3 times.
They go to the temple and they
No, but even before that, she changes her
does?
clothes. Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy. Imagine, maybe, you know, she does seem like the type of person to pack her clothes
Yeah, but
with her.
when they jumped out of the plane, they had nothing with
No,
them.
they had nothing with
Yeah.
her. I don't know how she changed her clothes. A bit impractical, a bit ridiculous. But mind you, this is all within the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
This is going really fast paced.
Have you been on the Indiana Jones ride in Disney?
No, not in California. I've been to the set show in Hollywood Studios. I actually played an extra. You had to sign a waiver and everything.
Really?
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool.
For what was this?
It was
for?
like a stage show thing where like you could be part of the tour and they show you the behind the scenes of like how they like, you know, they show you how to act as an extra in the Indiana Jones thing. This should be a fucking Temple of Doom roller coaster. Okay, we'll get to it, but this should be a fucking Temple of Doom roller coaster.
And the one in California, later on when they're like in the mine carts,
Yeah.
it's just the ride is just like that.
This movie, if for anything else, has the most theme park potential.
Oh yeah.
Club Obi-Wan could be a Disney restaurant. Guys, I'm literally giving you ideas. Get to it.
Well, it's like how Cars has like their Cars world.
Yes.
And
That would, Indiana,
yeah.
like, but like, you know what they do? They'll probably do the boring thing because what do people know more about Indiana Jones? The
boulder.
sandy desert.
Oh,
It
that's
would be some sandy desert bullshit. That would be Indiana Jones land. I'm sorry, but like that's probably what they would. It would be the cheapest option.
This is like the only movie too where they don't say the title in the movie.
Do they explicitly ever call like that palace the Temple of
I
Doom?
don't think so.
It's a bit ridiculous, like of a name.
Well, I mean, what else would you? I don't know what else you.
Raiders of
call
the
it.
Lost Ark. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Because like Lost Ark, you know, that's what they're finding. The Last Crusade, it's the Last Crusade of the Holy Grail.
Indiana Jones and the magical Hindu rocks of Shiva.
Yeah.
And the rocks of Shiva doesn't have a good good ring to it.
Well, I mean, this is like chronologically like the
earliest one.
Well, that and also like the myth, like the lore behind it. I think it's also the oldest.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually real. Like these magical rocks.
I have no idea.
No, I don't think these magical rocks are actually like a thing in Indian culture. I think it's just bullshit. So maybe that's another thing people have about it. Like, oh, it's not based on actual. And yes, I'll address the elephant in the room right now. This movie is kind of racist.
Oh.
Short Round has some lines that are kind of questionable. He's like, there's a line where he's stepping on like some bugs, and he's like, "Oh, it sounds like fortune cookies."
Oh yeah, no, I think Indy said that.
No, he says that.
Fortune cookies aren't even Chinese; they're American.
That too.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Not even Chinese. I'm trying to.
Were fortune cookies even around in 1935? That's
that's-
another question. The dinner scene. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like Hindu people are like vegetarian.
Yeah, that was the most racist shit I've ever seen in a movie.
To be fair, they cut out a line that Indiana Jones was gonna say that said, "These people are eating meat." I'm paraphrasing, but this was a line that was cut for some reason. These people are eating meat. This must be a front. Because mind you, the people at the palace, they're not
in the village. They were eating like the grain.
Yeah,
That
and
made
it's
more
like
sense.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I wish they kept that line in there. It could have saved them.
Yeah,
a
and
lot.
like the monkey, like and like the soup with the eyeballs, like that's
Yeah.
fucking racist.
Yeah. Imagine in Disney they serve that shit to you.
That'd be so funny.
The monkey brain. I believe the DS game had a mini game
Yeah,
with the
they had-
monkey.
they had a monkey. Well, and even now, honestly,
Yeah.
like that's like kind of like a family joke with my family.
Yeah.
Whenever we have like disgusting food, I mean, I'd rather have the monkey brain for Indiana Jones.
That's what I
though.
mean. Like when people bring up Temple of Doom, it's actually honestly one of the most memorable scenes. Is that scene? It's unfortunate.
Well, I think really quotable. Like in my opinion, I think this movie,
Yeah.
probably the most quotable movie in the series. Like Gadi Ma, I say that shit all the time.
Gadi
With
Ma.
the heart in his hand.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm a fanboy for this movie. Almost every scene is rewatchable. And then they meet the village people. You mentioned that Willie just refuses to eat the food.
That's fucked up.
It's fucked up. It does look gross.
Yeah, but if someone
But
offers
like,
you
if
food,
someone offers you, and they said enough
for like a week,
for a week, like,
Yeah,
bro,
you
just
that.
eat it.
Yeah.
Just eat it. It's funny. You probably would have gotten food poisoning eating that food, but the whole crew, I forgot to mention this in Raiders, the whole crew, when they went to Tunisia, they got food poisoning because they ate food around.
Oh, is that what Harrison Ford got the summer flu from?
Yeah. Everyone but Spielberg didn't get sick, and apparently they said it's because all he ate when he was there is SpaghettiOs. So,
I respect
funny,
that.
fun trivia.
When they get to the village, I kind of forgot, not gonna lie, that the
Yeah.
UK had a hold of India. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
why are they speaking English? And then like, oh yeah, I mean they kind of
Makes
knew
sense,
English,
yeah.
but like,
And there's a British guy at the temple as well.
but
He's the Shining guy, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah, he's the butler. Yep.
Yeah.
They send them on their way. They would have some elephants. Beautiful, beautiful landscape cinematography. Willie put some. She gets her shit though. Like every time she's annoying, she gets shit for it though.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I like at least Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Binks gets
Yeah, he
rewarded
does.
for being.
So when he shots, I mean, I guess when he
Jar
like,
Jar Binks gets rewarded for being a little shithead. You know, she gets punished for being annoying.
yeah,
She puts perfume on the elephant and gets her payback.
I think I actually prefer Jar Jar over her. Not gonna lie.
Whoa, what? That's kind of
He's
crazy.
I think
though.
Jar Jar is at least like kind of funny.
But
Willie just
if you
complains.
take her out, aren't you missing something?
Oh yeah, you are.
You're missing something. You know, like you need something. What would you rather have? Like, what type of female or like
Probably-
male character would you have? Would you have rather have a
honestly
male?
just have Indian short round. I think them together is perfect.
I get it, but like it is trying to be tropey.
Yeah.
And it is a big blockbuster film. You know, you're gonna need
You need a little
female-
romance in there.
Yeah,
somewhere.
romance, female
But
counterpart.
I think just them together, short round and Indy, they like bounce off each other so well.
Yeah.
And I love the scene when they're playing poker together.
Yeah.
And like you cheat. It's so
And
funny.
Short Round actually
And
turns out cheating.
too. Well, I haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once yet.
Yeah.
But I've heard it's really good.
It's great.
And it's so crazy how he was known for only 2 movies like over 30 years ago.
Yeah, that and Goonies,
Goonies.
which has a very similar DNA to Indiana Jones.
I mean, I guess you need someone in the mix who's stupid and doesn't know what they're doing with Willie.
Yeah.
But I just
Like,
just
imagine
find-
everyone knew what, like, to me, it fits because the Temple of Doom to her is a total nightmare.
Yeah.
Because it's, like, completely foreign to her and completely. And that's why I like the opening, because it shows how glamorous the 1930s is compared to the dark, of
the
Temple
Indian
of
Temple of
yeah,
Doom, yeah.
Temple of Doom. So like, if she was fighting Nazis,
Yeah.
that I would have a problem with that. If she was with like Indiana Jones during any other adventure, it wouldn't work. But for this one, it fits her because it fits the adventure that she's in, because she's going on like literally the most horrifying experience of her life. I kind of like seeing it. That's just me.
Well, I mean, yeah. At this point, Indy and even Short Round are like, yeah, we've done this before.
Yeah, I would love to see. Has Short Round really done this before? I think this is something new to him.
Well, I mean, they didn't really explain how long Short Round is known Indy for.
Well,
I mean-
they have some backstory. They met him during the bombing of Shanghai.
Yeah, I don't know when that was though.
I don't know when that was either. I'm assuming in
Probably
30s, 20s. Yeah.
I honestly hope he may. I mean, how would you feel if Short Round makes an appearance in the new movie?
I wouldn't mind.
Because like
I
would like
always
it, but-
wanted a short round spinoff.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, I'd rather him than
Well, you
Shia
kind of got that
LaBeouf.
with yeah. I wish like if you were gonna end it off with the Last Crusade, you could have had a Keiki Kwan in his teenage years.
Yeah.
You know, like just going on adventures in the 1940s or something like
What
that.
happened to him after the 80s? I don't even know what.
He just didn't get the roles because it's just Hollywood being racist and like he just couldn't get any roles, so he quit acting. I think he was in Encino Man in the 90s, but that was literally the only thing he was in afterwards.
For the longest time, I love acting, and I couldn't get a job. Hollywood didn't want me. There were no roles for me, and I spent the majority of my time in my late teens and early 20s just waiting for the phone to ring, and it rarely rang, so I had no choice but to step away. But it was just difficult to be an Asian actor at that time.
I think the Daniels just got a hold of him, and he started acting again right afterwards. And then now he's acting. Now he's back into acting. Now he's an Oscar winner.
Now
Holy
he's
shit!
A celebrity now. Too.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Macaulay Culkin a little bit.
But this is like way bigger of a comeback.
Way bigger.
You know?
But I remember he was gone for like
a
very long time as well.
Keiki Kwan is different though because like it seemed like I just saw like seeing interviews of him during like Temple of Doom and Goonies. He seemed like on top of the world, and like seeing interviews now, like when he mentioned it, like in between that time, he felt like he was just like a failure and like he would never become. Yeah, really so sad.
I'm so happy when he won the Oscar.
Yeah, I'm happy to see him get it again. Yeah, honestly.
Mom, I just won an Oscar.
Yeah, I haven't seen Goonies in a while. I got rewatch it.
Is a banger.
I'm trying to remember who's in it. You got Kiki Kwan in that movie. You got Corey Feldman in that movie. You got the guy who plays.
He's in Stranger Things.
Yeah,
plays,
Sam. I was gonna say Sam from Lord of the Rings, but him too.
Oh yeah,
it's
Mike.
Sam.
Yeah, I forget his name. Yeah.
R.I.P.
Josh Brolin.
Is that his name? No, it's not Josh Brolin.
Yeah, Josh Brolin.
Is Josh Brolin Thanos?
Yeah, he's the brother.
Oh yeah, speaking of
that's it.
Speaking of Corey Feldman, this is another tangent.
Yeah.
Do you have you listened to his music ever?
I had the podcast with Danny, and Danny mentioned Corey Feldman.
Dude, have you listened and
Go for it. Yeah.
It's such an.
I didn't listen to it. I watched Anthony Fantano's review. It's like an hour. It's like an hour long.
No,
and
literally,
just goes
the
through
title is
all of them.
the worst album of 2016.
It's pretty bad.
But see, it's one of those albums, or like he's one of those artists, Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
Where like he's a bad artist, but like
I feel like the Macaulay Culkin comparison is more to him.
Oh yeah,
honestly.
But I feel like he might. I think mentally he's not right. Like,
Yeah,
how do you make that and release it?
I mean, he's a child actor, so there's a lot of baggage that goes with that.
Because like
you know?
that album is
Yeah.
one of the weirdest things I've ever listened to.
He was a good 80s star though. He was a good child actor. I mean,
What
we
else is
covered
he
him
in?
in Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah, Friday
the
the
final
13th.
chapter.
Yeah.
9th episode.
Oh, was that with Liam?
Give that a listen. Yeah. Goonies, Stand By Me. I think he's in Lost Boys as
Oh,
well. I
Stand
didn't
by
see
Me.
that.
Yeah, River Phoenix also.
Yeah.
And
cool.
Will Wheaton.
Imagine Corey Feldman in the short round role as a different. Just obviously, that would be very insensitive.
That would be very racist.
But obviously, he would be like an American kid.
Yeah.
I don't think it would work. I think it kind of is cool that it's a kid from a different country.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think this the short round, like Kiki Kwan, like his portrayal of just like a kid hanging out with like this grown man who's like a father figure to him.
They probably went through a lot of auditions too.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, like to get that role.
Did you see the
And like
picture?
I said, Spielberg works best with kids. Like E.T. Elliot, I forget his name.
Oh, did you see the audition for that?
Dude, I cry every single time I watch
crazy.
that. That kid is insane. And then right afterwards, he's like, "You got the job."
Yeah.
Ah, so good. I'm sorry. What were you saying though?
No, did you see the picture of Harrison Ford hugging him after he won his Oscar?
Yeah, it was great. It was a little bit telegraphed that they had Harrison Ford present
Yeah.
the award, but they knew he was gonna win. It was kind of a shoe-in.
But I think
It was
I think it's sweet, though.
it was so sweet. I
Yeah.
loved it.
Where were we at? I think we're
The on the elephants.
yeah, towards the palace, and then they
the
stopped.
bats.
Oh, the bats.
Oh,
Wait, I think I wrote something down about
the
that. I
vision.
forget
There's
what
a
it
shot of the bats. Like it's just a shot of like a wide shot of the bats in the jungle. Like and there's like all these leaves and the sun is like illuminating on them,
Mhm.
and it must be like hundreds of bats like in that shot. It is such a cool ass visual,
I
man.
wonder, are those real bats?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, they're real bats for sure, for sure. There's also bats in the Goonies.
Yeah.
You get to this part where he sees like this statue and severed fingers.
Oh yeah, they didn't even address that. They just like didn't even mention the fingers.
That's like rated R type shit.
Yeah,
That is like
at that point, you know, this movie's going in a different direction than Raiders.
yeah. I forgot to we mentioned it earlier, but like this movie was kind of singly responsible for creating the PG-13 rating. You know, one of the biggest filmmakers of all time makes an incredibly scary, violent family film.
See, if it was R, then no one, like kids wouldn't have seen
Yeah,
it.
that's why the
Yeah,
PG-13
yeah.
rating was created, so it could signify to families that like this has also a little edge to it. I think Poltergeist had a big thing to do with that too, because Poltergeist was also PG.
Yeah, but that movie's
a straight up
this
horror
is
movie.
A tangent, but
yeah,
like, even the production for that movie is insane. Like
yeah, they use real corpses. Did you know that?
Well, yeah, but I forget the actress who plays the sister.
Yeah, she died.
She got killed by her boyfriend, or something like
Oh,
that. Right?
really?
Didn't her
Wow.
boyfriend
She
kill
got
her?
yeah. I think something like that. I think the daughter, the little girl,
Yeah, she died.
also died.
She had like some kind of disease.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like
movies,
cursed.
movies that like same with The Exorcist. Like movies
Mhm.
that have like stories like that. I like my favorite horror movie is The Exorcist.
Yeah.
But like whenever I watch, I just feel weird after.
Well, you've seen Poltergeist, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that give you like a Spielberg, like the town in Poltergeist?
Oh, yeah.
Straight out of E.T. That
It-
looks like
it
it
looks
looks
like
exactly
it-
like the
it
town
might-
in
might- might be the same
It might be
town.
the same town
Yeah.
actually. Like Mortal Kombat, it was the reason why the rating system existed. So I see that as a form of pride. Temple of Doom.
Well, it's kind of like also when they added the rating system for music. Like,
Oh yeah, the parent
Yeah.
advisory sticker thing.
Yeah, I just find I don't know why like in
They started
80s,
doing that
90s
because of rap music.
Yeah, which is like
probably a
also
racial
racial
element to that. Yeah.
But it's just I feel like at that time they try to get so PC with everything. It's like it's not.
No,
that
that's the
deep.
Reagan era for you.
Oh, yeah.
That's even just watching the movies from the 1980s, you'll see that like if you
Yeah.
think of classic 80s movies, they're all
early,
early,
The
like
Shining,
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
You
Well,
know,
isn't
84.
Isn't Ghostbusters 2 late 80s?
Yeah, that's the thing too.
Yeah,
It's not as good.
I was exhausted after the first 20 minutes.
Were you scared by any of it?
No. It might be scary for real little kids, but I think it'd be good for, 7 years old or so.
But one mother and child walked out halfway through the movie. What was it about this movie that scared you?
About all the fighting and burning.
Did you cry or what?
Close my eyes and hold my ears.
Did you finally say to your mother that you wanted to leave?
Mm-hmm.
It's just too much violence and gore, mostly gore.
How old is your little girl?
5 years old.
Was she scared by the movie?
No, she enjoyed it.
Did she not ever cry or show any reaction?
Oh no, she was very happy.
Spielberg to this day kind of disowns this movie.
Well,
It's his least favorite movie.
Oh, they ever made?
Are you? Yes.
That's
Are you
crazy.
kidding me, dude? Fuck. Like, I'm sorry.
He has worse
I'm
movies.
sorry. Be proud. Be
Yeah.
proud of what you made here.
Is that why Last Crusade is a lot like Raiders?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a course correction.
This
Yeah.
is such a weird tangent, but are you a Weezer fan?
Yeah.
And so you know the Blue Album?
Pinkerton. This is the Pinkerton. Well, like,
This is the
Pinkerton has
Pinkerton.
been reclaimed.
Yeah.
Pinkerton has been reclaimed as one of the better albums because the Weezer's history after that.
Mhm.
But
Pinkerton is probably my
If
favorite
you- okay,
is the
if-
Blue Album, but
yeah.
Pinkerton is such an amazing album. It's a weird like concept and it's a little like perverted, but I think it's an amazing
dark,
album.
too. Yeah, it's a lot. It's very perverted, but that's kind of like why I like about it, because like it is honest and it's very like of the moment. Like River Cuomo was depressed at the time. He was wasn't going through like, so the art reflected it.
I've actually seen them on Tuesday.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Where?
Philly.
Okay. Anyone else?
It's them and Future Islands. I don't know who that is
Okay.
though. But they were going on tour with them and Modest Mouse, and I love Modest Mouse, but they're only going to be with them in the Midwest. Do you
Yeah,
know
that
Modest
sucks.
Mouse?
Yeah, I do.
I love Modest Mouse. They're
Remember when
amazing.
I remember they played in PNC a a while back. With
Weezer?
Lil Wayne.
Oh,
That was a
I
weird
do
tour.
remember that. I
Yeah.
think Lil Wayne had his rock era.
Yeah.
It's like the worst Lil
Rebirth.
Wayne. I hated that.
We get to the palace and we went over the dinner scene. We have a little back and forth with Willie and Indiana Jones. It's charming.
I think it's cringy.
It's cringy. Okay, you think it's cringy, but it ends off pretty fucking awesome when the guy is blended in into the fucking
that part
painting.
Is crazy.
So that's what I'm saying. And like from here on out, the movie's awesome.
Oh
yeah. Literally, the only slow part is when they're talking in dinner. That's the worst part of the movie because it's kind of racist and it's kind of boring.
No, I think the worst. I think the worst part is when they when Willie's like, oh, he'll be back in 5 minutes, and he's like, oh, she'll be here in 4.5 minutes.
And it ends off with the guy blended in with the painting.
No,
it leads right into that.
And his death is like one of like the craziest deaths in the movie.
Oh, ceiling fan.
Yeah.
Shout out to the ceiling fan for keeping that guy up. And that's when Indiana Jones comes in. I think it's funny when she's like, "Oh, Indy," and she's like, "I'm right here."
He's having a panic attack.
Yeah.
He's like touching like the breast of the statue.
And she's like, "I'm right here." She has a good. See, I really think you're doing her dirty here. She has some good lines. Like she has her moments.
I get why she's in the movie. Like like she's important to the plot. I just hate annoying characters.
And I believe she hasn't been in much. I believe
who's the
I don't know. Spielberg's soon to be wife afterwards though. So,
oh really?
Yeah, I guess he liked the performance.
Are they still together?
I think so. Kate Capshaw is her name. Yeah, to this day they're still.
I guess
5 children.
I guess after that she's like, yeah, I don't need to do work anymore. I got my husband doing all the work now.
Yeah, it was before they were married, so. And then they go into the Temple of Doom where they at the bug tunnel. Fucking traumatized me as a kid.
Yeah, that is traumatizing.
Willie soon follows. I love Indiana Jones's face when he's like, "We are going to die," and his face is like he has like frowns like right before they cut. It's so funny. Like, I really do think this character is necessary because when Short Round and Indy are in peril, it's up to her, and it gets really really suspenseful when it's just up to her. If Marion was going into this, she would have gone right into it, right? Like,
well, I mean, she's the only indie girl that we don't know what happens to afterwards. Her movie, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, like, I don't think she's gonna hang around with him anytime. He probably dumps him. He's probably like, "I'm gonna go on another adventure. Want to come with?"
Like,
nah.
I don't blame her. But
in Raiders, he has a robe on early on in the scene.
Yeah.
He could be sleeping with her. He could be, you know.
What scene?
Early on, right before he visits Marion in Nepal, one of his colleagues visits him at his house.
Oh, Marcus, right?
Yeah, Marcus, and he has the robe on. He has a robe on, and there's a deleted scene where he's sleeping with a woman.
Maybe it's her.
Never in the final cut. Maybe it's her.
So the most traumatizing scene, and probably in my childhood.
Yeah.
The Gotti Mas scene. And I love the effect is crazy. Because like when he's going for the chest, you see it like transition to like, it looks like a cake almost.
It's like a dummy or something like that. But like it's horrifying still.
No, and then I actually learned recently that again from I took physiology that a heart beating out of someone's body is a real thing, because the body the heart.
I think I've seen someone do it like with like a rat or something like that.
I did it with a frog and.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So like after a while, after it's out of the body for a little bit, there's a thing in the heart called pacemaker potential, and that's what tells the heart how fast to beat. That's in the heart. So like the force of contraction, that's from the brain.
Yeah.
But the heart tells itself how fast to beat, so it can beat like a couple minutes after it's outside the body.
Damn, that's actually kind of wild. They're looking for 2 other magical rocks.
Yeah, but they don't really say why they're digging there. Like, how do they know it's in that area? Because like
the colonizers, they said it once a long time ago. The colonizers took over our region, and so we hid. So long ago we hid the rocks within these caverns, and now we're gonna look back for them. And it's horrifying seeing the kids like do labor as a kid. That is like horrifying to see, like kids just do manual labor.
Well, there are a lot of movies that have like a premise like that though. Like, have you ever seen Pinocchio? Have you ever seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
No, I didn't see
that. There's also like a
freeing
scene like that. those kids like just
It's a cliche though.
yeah,
They
it's
all
a
have
cliche,
cliches.
So
Yeah,
Indy
they force
gets
force him to
brainwashed, drinks the
he's
blood.
out of like a rotten skull. It's kind of gross.
I don't know whose blood that is, but
He spits it out first, and then they like hold his nose. They force him to drink it. Great body acting by Ford.
it's probably his best acting in the whole series. I still stand by that. I mean, and then also
The set, the candles. It's just like shot like a fucking horror movie, dude. It's so good.
when they have the voodoo doll of Indy.
Oh, yeah. Not really an Indian thing. It's more
Yeah.
like of a African thing.
Yeah, I don't know why they think voodoo was just like any like Asian or African.
Yeah, like I
country.
said,
Yeah.
yeah.
They want to sacrifice Willie.
Yeah.
And then honestly, Indy, fucking kill her. You're out of the picture. I don't care about her. Yeah.
I guess okay, that is true. Like if you hate the character, you have no stakes in if she dies or not.
Well, obviously she's not gonna die. I knew that. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, even as a kid, I knew
Yeah.
that. But like, I mean, if they did, I really wouldn't care. But like, the sad part is like when Short Round is like,
It's so heroic though when he
Indy,
escapes.
you're my best friend.
I
love
love
you.
Only time in the series where I teared up and I felt something. I mean, only times in my recent rewatch that I felt something. Obviously, felt something back in the day, but
Yeah.
what a triumphant moment! And then they free everyone. I want to bring up the music. Do 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 do.
Yeah.
Do, do. That theme, that specific Temple of Doom theme, when they're freeing the slaves, is hype. The minecart set, right? This set is huge. When he's fighting the big guy.
Yeah, there's always the big guy.
It's my favorite big guy
Yeah.
fight. He gets it pretty bad too, getting fucking run over by
No, he was a Lego
steamroller.
he was a Lego character too. I forget his name in the Lego games, but he had.
Oh yeah, for sure. He definitely was a character. He definitely was a brute. I forgot to mention Willie. It's funny. One of her only abilities in the Lego game was screaming.
Oh, dude, I do remember that.
We get to the minecart. You think it's too long?
It's good, but I just feel like went on for like 20 minutes.
I recently seen Buster Keaton's The General, which is an old silent film, and Spielberg basically remakes.
Is that the movie with the train?
With the train
Yeah.
falling down?
Yeah.
Well, that visual of the train falling down on the bridge is very similar to the bridge in Temple of Doom, and the visual is very similar to that. But there's also a sequence earlier on in The General where Buster Keaton. Oh, by the way, he's a Confederate soldier in this movie.
Yeah.
It's the 1920s.
Yeah,
What can I say?
thank you.
Buster Keaton is he's being chased by the Union.
That's fucked up.
And he's throwing like parts of the track at them while he's being chased by the train. Is exactly like the train, the chase sequence in Temple of Doom with the mine carts. And like I said, there is a sequence similar to The General where the bridge falls, and then the Confederate army comes and saves the day, and there's a battle in between a river.
Yeah,
and it's very similar to Temple of Doom. I probably wasn't the first one to put that together, but
probably not.
I recently saw the first movie, and I didn't think of Temple of Doom when I saw the movie, but when I saw Temple of Doom, I was like, wow. Spielberg, you hack.
He's watching Confederate pro movies.
You're stealing from a silent movie 60 years ago.
Yeah, and they're
you
pro
think you know what
Confederate.
fight?
Pro Confederacy movie.
It's honestly still considered a classic to this day. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like Birth of a Nation. Like,
Birth of the Nation literally caused the KKK to like sprout again.
Yeah.
In 1920. So that is like.
But
that's a movie that literally has some historical.
It's literally
context.
considered like I mean, it's obviously inspirational. It inspired an entire cult to come back. But
yeah, I don't know any other movie that has done that before.
I don't think I can name any other ones either.
Speaking of problematic movies, Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
I love this fucking finale in the bridge, man.
Oh yeah.
Just how, like, on a filmmaking perspective, it's just so impressive. It is kind of convenient how Indiana Jones knows how to work the rocks. I don't know how.
Well, it's the most wholesome ending in the entire series.
Yeah, when you see like the Indian village, first off, it looks beautiful when it's brought back to life. When you see the Indian village and you see the reaction of the parents, and that's important. Like just showing the reaction of all their parents, seeing the kids escape from the palace, and like some of the kids like on top of the dining table, like fucking ruining the dining table where they ate, the culturally insensitive food. Like it's just such a wholesome ending. Like
Oh yeah, no, yeah, definitely the most wholesome ending.
it didn't even get #1 at the box office that year.
What'd it get?
3.
Okay. What was ahead of it?
Well, it did premiere at #1.
Well, I mean, obviously it didn't premiere #1 because people are
had the biggest opening of that year, but didn't finish at #1. It dethroned Robert Redford film The Natural. It opened alone, so no other movies wanted to open. Probably they were scared to open against it.
Yeah.
You want to guess the 2 other movies in '84 that grossed more in the U.S.?
Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's #1.
#2. I'm trying to remember. I'm really bad at years sometimes, so I'm trying.
'84 was a good year. I'll name the ones that are not. Nightmare on Elm Street came out that year. Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter came out that year. Karate Kid came out that year.
Oh, was it?
I don't want to say the one that it is, but I just.
Is it when you say
Terminator came out that year too.
Yeah, but
Gremlins came out that year. I forgot about that. That's another good one. Corey Feldman's on that one too.
Well,
Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh,
I haven't seen it.
It's an action movie.
Is it good? I
good.
probably should see it.
No, it's good. It's an action
being
comedy.
such a big fan of Daddy Daycare, I probably should see it.
Shout out Danny with that
Daddy
podcast.
Daycare. that has the first appearance of the Flash live action.
Oh, really?
There's a kid that dresses up like the Flash in that film.
Oh, Daddy Daycare?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I listened to the podcast when it came out. I just haven't seen the movie in forever.
Oh, no, it's totally fine.
Did
You don't need, I mean, you could.
Did you review Daddy Day Camp?
No, but
That
that's
movie's
something we might
terrible.
want to do. After Temple of Doom, to me, he's like a completely different filmmaker. Right? The year after this, he makes The Color Purple.
Yeah.
A drama
I
with...
forgot he made that movie.
Like, clearly he thought this was like a bad idea, this movie. It's because he's never the same again. He makes dramas, and even the more violent movies that he makes are like later on, like Saving Private Ryan, way more serious, not like in a popcorn fun way. Like if I had to rate my top 5 Spielberg, it would be Jaws.
Is this an order or just random?
It's random. I'll be here all day. But it would be Jaws. I haven't seen Close Encounters in so long, so I got to get back to that one. Jaws, E.T., Raiders, Temple of Doom.
Oh, he did Ready Player One. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I'm just like, I guess, I don't know, man. I really don't know. It's hard.
Okay, he did a lot of stinkers later on.
West Side Story was a pretty good one, recent one that he made. I think I have to go with Catch Me If You Can. I think that one was like later in his career. That's like the best one. I haven't seen Saving Private Ryan, so that's fair. And like Schindler's List is just a bummer, man. I don't want to put that on there.
Well, I mean, my list is Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Schindler's List.
Okay.
Raiders. Jaws. Honestly, I think Temple of Doom is up there too. I'm thinking either that one or E.T. But I'm like,
does that mean you like Last Crusade is?
Well, I love Last Crusade. A good segue, but
yeah,
I love Last Crusade. Like, I know that you're gonna shit on it.
I'm not gonna shit on it. I'm just gonna say it is significant. I'll say it right now. It's a significant downgrade to the first two, in my opinion. Like, I just see him going back to the same shit in the first one, like too much, in my opinion.
Well, I think the beginning is very weak.
The flashback?
It was just like the first like half an hour is really
weak. The flashback is the train chase is cool.
Yeah.
But having an origin for his whip and having an origin of why he's afraid of snakes, it seems like something people will complain about nowadays if it came out in like Crystal Skull or something like that. If there was like a prequel bit in Crystal Skull, they'd be like, oh, we don't need to know why he got his whip. It's in this one, motherfucker. I think it is worthy of a criticism. Like, we don't need to know why he got his whip. You know, I just think it's a little bit like falls in the tropes of like franchise stuff. You know,
well, it's
like we have to know how he got his whip. We have to know why he's this. We have to know why he's that. Like, do we? Yeah. Do we have to know why the way he is?
It's kind of crazy how we know his name until this movie.
Henry Jones Jr.
Yeah, we didn't know his name at all until...
I don't mind that. That's just like a funny little bit. And really, did you really think his name was Indiana?
No, I mean, obviously not, but like, it's just weird how long it took to find out his real name.
You learn a lot about him. The opening sequence is kind of a bait and switch. You think he's the guy who's looking at this relic. I forget, it's like this cross.
Yeah.
But he's actually a Boy Scout.
Boy Scout.
It's funny because I was a Boy Scout, so it's kind of cool.
I was a
seeing that.
Cub Scout.
You're Cub Scout. Oh,
Yeah, I got
did you
my.
see yourself in Indiana Jones in this scene?
I did because I mean I went as far. I went from Tiger, Wolf, Bear, and then Weeblos Part 1 and Part
Yeah, it
2.
was Weeblos.
I got my Arrow of Light and I stopped.
I went all the way to the Boy Scouts, and I think I went all the way to Life Scout.
Did you Eagle
but
Scout?
No,
No.
that wasn't for like. That's kind of why I did Boy Scouts in the first place. I never did it. I never got to the Eagle Project because it looks good on a college resume.
Oh yeah, I bet it
apparently.
does. Well, I mean, I feel like Boy Scouts are very. I mean, I'm trying to remember. I think Boy Scouts.
We never went on like a hike to Utah, but
Well, I remember
his friend is definitely looks like a Boy Scout.
Which one? Oh, the one that's
His
little
friends
chubby?
with the little
Yeah.
the blowhorn and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Indiana.
I like how he's never mentioned again after that.
Yeah, what
cutscene.
was it? I told you, like Indiana Jones is kind of like he's kind of like just selfish. He doesn't really. He's married to the game.
Oh yeah.
He's not really committed to anyone else, honestly. Until the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not the last one now.
Well, I mean, yeah. The last
we'll
one
see if
as of recording.
That's another prediction I have for the fifth one. Marion is gonna be like dead.
Oh, she's in the casting, so.
Oh, she is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Her and then Salah, the guy from Cairo.
Yeah, I know he was coming back. I didn't know she was coming back.
Yeah,
Okay,
she was
so
in the
like
casting. Carrie Allen.
I hope this is kind of getting to Crystal Skull, but I hope they're still married in the next one. I wouldn't want because that would feel a little bit redundant if
They're probably gonna be like, "Oh, where's Shia LaBeouf? Oh, he's having his adventures."
Yeah.
Shit like that.
You even see how he gets his hat. He's just some random dude.
Just some
Some
random-
random dude. They also like try to. I forgot. He like scars his chin. That's because Harrison Ford notoriously has a scar on his chin.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. They try to explain that in Star Wars too in the expanded universe. I forget how though, but that's they always try to explain the scar that Harrison Ford
Kind of like
has.
when Mark Hamill got on his motorcycle crash.
Oh yeah, for
and,
Empire.
And
right?
then they
Yeah.
get scratched by the what was
That's
that thing
right.
called? The not Bantha, the
Wampa.
Wampa.
Yeah. And then the same guy who was stealing from in the beginning is now comes full circle. We're in 1938 now.
Well, I don't know who that even is. They don't even say. Who
I don't know.
that
It's
is.
some
Just
guy who's trying to steal it from, and kind of a lame, like ocean fight. It was kind of like not the greatest. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
It looked like it was shot on a soundstage. It looked really fake. It did not look like compared to the ship sequences in Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it was shot on location, it just does not compare. And then you see the giant explosion, and he's like right there. I'm like,
Yeah. Well, how did he get back?
How did
to,
he
like,
not
the
just?
shore?
I don't know. That's another thing too.
Because this cuts from there, and he's back in.
And then he's
school.
back in college. But in this one, everyone's like asking for like, just like, oh, can I get your autograph? And he has to exit the window.
No, I don't think it was that. I think because he's so behind on
Oh,
schoolwork.
yeah. Okay, that
like,
makes sense.
You still have all these papers you haven't graded yet, and they're asking him all these questions. I think that's
I would be
what it
mad.
was.
He's probably the worst fucking professor.
Oh, yeah,
Like on
100%.
Canvas, he probably will not. He will not reach back to you.
Well, you probably wouldn't even see him because he's gone all the time.
Wait, he has his Zoom classes while
Yeah,
he's on adventures.
Yeah, he's like in some kind of like rainforest in Costa Rica. He's like, all right, guys, open page 71. He's just like on a fucking like boat in the middle of the jungle. In the Lego game too, you can exit out the window.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's funny.
He goes to he gets a package in the mail from Venice, Italy. It's his dad's diary.
Yeah.
So his dad's his whole life mission was to find the Holy Grail that Jesus used during the Last Supper.
He goes to Venice. I kind of like that they go to Europe. You never
Yeah.
see Indiana Jones in Europe. Religious people try to do a hit on him.
Oh yeah, so they're I think they're Turkish.
They like
Indy
that.
literally kills all this guy's all his friends.
Yeah.
And he doesn't care.
It is cool, the boat chase, though.
Mhm.
Boat chase is awesome.
Well, I don't know why. I remembered him dying, like the guy, I think his name was Kasim. I thought he died in that scene. I don't know
Oh.
why I remembered him dying, but he doesn't
Oh, yeah,
die
no.
until later.
Yeah, lets him go.
I don't know why I thought.
The practical propeller. Like,
Mhm.
he's right next to
Yeah,
that
I
thing.
thought he
That's
threw him in
so
there.
cool.
I
Yeah.
thought-
Cool boat chase, though.
Mhm.
And then they go to Transylvania or something like that. Like, I go to a
It's
castle.
Austria. I don't know. If that's
Oh, Austria,
Pennsylvania.
okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they go because that's where Indy's dad is.
Yeah.
And then
Coolest fucking setting of the movie,
when the
dude.
movie gets good, it is when the movie gets good. I think.
Yeah. I wish they spent more time in that castle though. Cool setting that's different, compared to the other stuff.
No, it's funny when they disguise. I mean, it's weird how Dr. Snyder is really like wants to like disguise herself, even though she's a Nazi, but whatever. They
Oh, yeah.
disguise themselves.
He has a
and
Scottish accent,
He's
too.
like, if you're, he's like a Scottish lord.
Yeah.
And that part's so funny. And when the butler's like, if you're a Scottish lord, then I am Mickey Mouse. It's so weird, but it's so funny though.
I rate his Scottish accent pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like Shrek a little bit.
Yeah. Watch our Train Spotting episode.
Is it out by now? I'm guessing
it will be out.
Well, when this is, yeah.
Finds out that his father is there, and the Nazis are holding him hostage.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out the girl is a Nazi. Classic femme fatale trope. Sean Connery. What do you think of him in this movie?
And I think he's amazing in this movie. Like, I don't know if you agree with me. I think he kills it in this movie.
I like him.
Yeah,
I like him in
really,
this movie.
I think
I do think Marion is still my favorite. Marion and Short Round are still my favorite partners.
I prefer Short Round. But he's still amazing
Their
though.
buddy duo is so funny when he says like, "She's a Nazi. How do you know she's a Nazi?" Like, she talks in her sleep.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Indiana Jones is Eskimo buddies with
his dad.
With his dad.
That's so fun. I mean,
he is James Bond himself.
Oh yeah,
Sean
obviously.
Connery. So like,
it would have been so funny if they made a James Bond movie when Sean Connery like looked like that.
That would. They got close. I think there was one in the 80s.
Was in the 80s? No, wasn't that Roger Moore?
No, but there was another one. There was like an off-brand Bond one that came out.
Oh, was that Diamonds Are Forever?
I'll look it up.
Because like that's the song that
Kanye, yeah. He was only 6 years removed from this Bond movie. Never Say Never Again, which is a off-brand Bond movie, not made by MGM. Came out the same time as Roger Moore.
See, I've seen.
It's like the unofficial Bond movie.
I've seen every Bond movie. I just don't remember a lot of them because they're all very similar.
Yeah, so yeah, you might want to watch that one. It doesn't have good reviews though.
Well, a lot of them don't have good reviews. Like, have you seen the Roger Moore one?
I haven't seen any of them.
Oh, there's one called Moonraker.
Besides, Moonraker, I heard is just because of Star Wars.
Yeah, it's so terrible.
I've read stuff about the series and I've watched the Craig movies, but
there are some. I think
they really don't interest me.
The first like 4 are really good with Sean Connery.
Dr. No to I think Thunderball is the 4th one.
No, yeah, it's Dr. No, From Russia with Love.
Oh, From Russia with Love.
Goldfinger, and then Thunderbolt or something like that. Thunderball, yeah. And then
give him a try.
And then there's also the one with Roger Moore called Live and Let Die, and the song is Live and Let Die by the way. But like
I remember that song from Shrek 3.
Yeah.
Shout out.
That's the only song I every Bond movie has a song.
Live and Let Die.
That was the only song I knew before seeing the movie.
Oh really?
I didn't know Diamonds Are Forever, the song before Kanye, because I didn't know that song yet. But yeah, that's the only song I knew.
Skyfall by Adele is underrated. That one's really good.
That's probably my favorite Bond movie, honestly. Skyfall.
That's a lot of people's favorite. I think Casino Royale is.
Yeah, it's definitely close to Skyfall and Casino Royale are made. Well, there's a Casino Royale comedy movie. It's one of the
in the 60s.
It's absolutely terrible.
I haven't seen it. No.
It's one of the strangest. It's like an Austin Powers movie before Austin Powers.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like a parody. It's like a parody.
Well, it's a parody because Casino
But it's based
Royale,
on the Bond book.
Yeah,
right?
Ian Fleming book. Yeah, because the actual movie didn't come out till like much later.
Yeah, I like him in this movie. He plays a good dad.
Well, it's sad because like they really aren't that close until this adventure happened, and it's nice to see them rekindle things and reconnect.
Speaking of Austin Powers, it kind of reminds me of the third one when he reconnects with his father.
I haven't seen the third. I've seen the first two. I never saw the third one.
Michael Caine plays Austin Powers' father.
Really?
And it's kind of.
I
can't believe I'm making a parallel, but it kind of is like
this movie?
Yeah. I like their motorcycle chase.
Mhm.
That's fun. It reminds me of Harry Potter.
Oh yeah.
Hagrid's motorcycle adventure.
When was that when they were in the air?
Well, it reminds me of even more now, like the roller coaster in Universal.
I've never been to Universal.
Holy shit, that ride is insane. One of the best fucking roller coasters like ever. Yeah, they casually bump into Hitler, gets his book signed, and then because that's
Oh
where
yeah,
they go to the blimp, and that's when the
oh,
airplane
that's been the
happens.
funniest scenes
Yeah.
when they go in the blimp, and then the one Nazi's trying to find them, and then Indy like just disguises himself as like the pilot. He's like, tickets please, and he throws the Nazi out. He's like, no
No
ticket.
ticket. Have you ever ridden a blimp before?
No.
I know they're like really rare apparently. Only like
Well,
28
after
exist or something like that.
after the Hindenburg.
Yeah.
My dad actually worked where the Hindenburg crashed. Like
Really?
yeah, Lakehurst military base. That's where the Hindenburg like crashed, and that was back when the U.S. and like the Nazis like they didn't hate each other because the Hindenburg had swastikas on it.
Really?
So you see a picture of the Hindenburg, it's like swastikas. It's like 1932.
That's probably why they put it in the movie.
Maybe
The blimp. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they're known for blimps
Yeah.
In Germany.
Goodyear. Shout
Yeah,
out
it's the only
Goodyear.
blimp I
That's
know
the
of
only-
Goodyear. Yeah.
That's the one they use in Scarface.
Yeah, that's like, after like,
After
planes
that, they just use it for like advertisements. Seems
well,
like
I mean, after planes got so advanced, they're like, what's the point of it? A blimp?
they're cool. I like them. They're like giant hot air balloons. I'm sure they're a lot less safe.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. Only I don't think they have them for commercial use anymore.
And then we get our plane sequence that we were promised in Temple of Doom.
It's so no, and that scene's also so funny too because, Henry Sr. is just absolutely just clueless what's happening half the time.
Yeah.
And he's like, Dad, 11 o'clock. He was like, oh, what happens at 11 o'clock? 12, 10, 11 o'clock.
I love when he shoots
yeah.
the tail.
It's like,
they got us, guy. They got us, Indy. They got us. I'm sorry. And then another plane is after them, so they get into a car. The plane is chasing them. I'm sure this is from like North by Northwest.
No, it looked like North by Northwest.
I've never seen the movie, but I know that shot. The tank happens soon afterwards. It's a rescue mission, right?
Yeah, they're rescuing Marcus and Salah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tank falls, and everyone thinks he's dead.
Yeah, another fake out. Oh, we didn't even mention the fake out death in Temple of Doom.
Yeah, but you didn't have the fake out death in Raiders, so you can have the fake out death here.
That's true.
And it's a prequel, so if you've been paying attention, you know he's not dead.
Yeah.
And then this one it's done a lot better. It's done in a super comedic way where everyone thinks he's dead. His father starts crying for the first time, I'm assuming, for him, and you just see Harrison Ford, great comedic timing, and look down at like the wreckage of the tank. Super funny.
And is that puts his arm around him? You just know it's him at first.
Boy, yeah, it's so funny and heartwarming.
Yeah. When we get to the end, I think that's probably another really heartwarming scene at the end. Well, the end is really like when he has to do like the trials.
The coolest trial out of all of them was the invisible walk path.
Oh yeah, and you see like it's not actually invisible; it's just like blended in.
Seeing the main villain take a sip of the wrong cup and like turn.
Well, yeah, Dr.
1,000 years old.
I mean, that's kind of his fault. Why would you expect a carpenter from Israel 2,000 years ago to have a gold cup like that?
Yeah.
That's kind of his fault. Jesus was poor. He was not a rich guy. He was a poor man.
Was the main villain the main villain's not an archaeologist, right?
No, he's just some collector.
So that's why he made that mistake. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ages 1,000 years in like a second.
Yeah, and that's the last character in Lego Indiana Jones, at least the DS one.
He saves his father.
Dr. Schneider was trying to like run away with the cup, or as Sean Connery would say, Dr. Schneider. He was like the SH for everything. Schneider.
She did. She falls. She got a little greedy. She wanted to take the cup, but it's not worth it. Andy tries to do the same thing, but his father even tells him. Not worth it, man. You can live to fight another day. Live to fight another movie.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Well, the thing is, like, Sean Connery was alive when the next movie came out,
and they didn't bring him back.
They said he was dead.
Yeah, I don't know why they killed him off. I don't know.
Okay, he only died like a couple years ago, so he was alive. The end is very strong, and then the bond between Indy and his dad.
And when they're all riding into the sunset.
Yeah, it should have just ended forever. I don't get why they bring it back, but yeah, I feel like the chemistry between Indy or Sean Connery and Harrison Ford is just so strong and it works very well. I think that saves the movie. If Indy's dad wasn't in it,
I wish he was in it more. He really does. I was caught off guard when I watched it again, just how little he was in it. Like he's maybe in it for 30. He maybe has 30 minutes at most of screen time.
Yeah, it's very limited. I don't get why they did that. They
Maybe
should
because
have had
Sean
him-
Connery's just asking for too much. He's a big star, you know.
Yeah, and he's also not a great person either. You ever see the one
Yeah,
interview
I heard he was difficult. Yeah,
with Barbara Walters?
about like just beating
He's
women.
like, yeah, I'll punch a woman in the face. It's something like, hey, I got nothing wrong with that. You can hit him in the face if they don't.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, rest in peace, Sean Connery.
R.I.P. Sean Connery. Probably the second best James Bond, behind Daniel.
Yeah,
Daniel
I haven't
Craig.
watched anything besides this from him. So
Well, have you ever seen Goldeneye?
no, I haven't seen any
Brosnan?
Bond movie.
Wow.
No, this was I think number 2 at the box office.
What else came out?
1989.
That year? What else came out that year?
Let me look at the movies that came out that year. Do you know
I'm
what would be
thinking
number
of
1
what
in
what came
1989?
out. What-
Back to the Future Part 2.
Oh.
It's not that. Jason Takes Manhattan. Do the Right Thing.
Oh, Do the Right Thing is such an amazing movie.
All right. Well, number 3 was Lethal Weapon 2. Indiana
that
Jones.
series is interesting.
You seen it?
No, like, I've seen. There's like 4 of them.
I know Joe Pesci's in one of them, right?
I think so. Yeah, it's Mel Gibson and
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover, yeah.
Batman.
It's
Yeah,
funny. Yeah.
Batman.
Deserved.
1989 Batman was the big box office winner in the U.S.
Such an amazing movie
for
too.
that
That's
year.
probably my favorite Batman movie. Like the first one.
It opened alongside a Clint Eastwood movie called Cadillac, or Pink Cadillac. Never heard of it. It dethroned See No Evil, Hear No Evil, starring Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder.
I haven't even heard of that one.
I haven't even heard of it too. It's funny how that movie was like the biggest movie in America, and now it's just like
Whatever.
what I've forgotten.
Well, I mean, but that's what a lot of movies like. If you're talking about the
Yeah,
number one
when it
movie
comes to
from,
when
like-
it comes to like that's why I always say like box office isn't everything, because go back and look at some of the biggest movies in the 1980s.
Yeah.
No one remembers them, and look at some of the flops. Everyone remembers them. Blade Runner flop. The Thing flop. You know.
Pulp Fiction
You never
flopped.
know. Yeah. No, it didn't.
I
Pulp
thought-
Fiction.
I thought
no,
flopped,
no.
no?
Pulp Fiction was a hit on arrival. Big time jump. People thought Indiana Jones was done. Spielberg and Lucas kind of agreed that it was done. They have a thing for trilogies for some reason. You know, they went on and did their own thing. Lucas, of course, made the prequels.
And then at this point, he was busy, ruining Star Wars with,
Yeah, you know,
adding
special
shit.
editions
Yeah.
as well. Even Spielberg indulged in that. He tried to change E.T. in
Oh,
the
really?
20th anniversary, 2002 DVD has instead of guns, the police officers have remote controls, walkie-talkies. Like he digitally edited that. But luckily he fixed it, and in further releases he got rid of that. So at least Spielberg can recognize his mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I don't. The whole thing with Lucas is like,
Just give us the original. Just give us the original cut of the movie, though. Like,
yeah, give us both.
It's not that we don't like the changes, because some of the changes are good, but like to deprive us of the original, and we'll never see what people saw in 1977 truly, ever again.
What's your favorite change that he made?
Oh, that's a good one.
Because we always say how bad most of them are, but there are
I
some
think
good ones.
Bespin, like the digital enhancements to Bespin, were like just the most tasteful. Honestly, like it kind of blended in with the movie. Anything Empire Strikes Back, I'm good with.
Yeah.
That's the one that really didn't have
They had a
enough
lot of changes, really.
but like the changes that they did were good. Like CGI and a little bit of Bespin, helped it out a little bit to fit in the prequels, and I expect that. And Palpatine was also.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Is when they've made Palpatine the actual, like what he looked like in the next movie. Not so, it was some like random person in the.
It was a guy. Yeah, it was like I think it was a woman actually.
Yeah.
Star Wars was different, man. That shows you like it was just like, people didn't. Now that would have been a whole focus group to figure out what the Emperor's look would be. 2008 film, stars Harrison Ford, just like all the others, and Shia LaBeouf, hot off of Transformers, which Spielberg produced.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
So that's probably why he got the job. I liked him in Transformers, so like I could see why. And that first movie is a little bit underrated. I think it's
Oh,
not that bad.
Shia LaBeouf and Megan Foster were like not even in anything anymore.
Yeah, that's true. I
Like
mean,
they're both
they
yeah.
both do different things. Shia LaBeouf is like art film guy. I think he's married to Mia Goth, and Megan Fox is just kind of just like living off of her name, being a celebrity.
Yeah, with
You know,
Machine Gun
she
Kelly for
wasn't
a
really
while.
in, but she wasn't really in like any. I think Transformers is literally like her biggest role.
No,
Like
I
it's not
think
even
I
like
think it's what's the one horror movie she was in?
oh, Jennifer's Body.
Jennifer's Body.
That was
Yeah.
a flop though when
Oh,
it
yeah,
came out.
I think it's
See,
pretty
another
good.
example of people that
Yeah.
didn't like it when it first came out, and now it's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
But like Shia LaBeouf, I could see why Spielberg chose him to be Indiana Jones' son. I have a personal connection with this one.
Really?
And the fact that I saw it in theaters and I was anticipating it.
Oh yeah.
Like
I was the same way.
You know, like I wasn't like ecstatic for it. It wasn't like a new Star Wars movie, but like it was like, hey, this is a new thing, and like there's a fourth one coming out. You know, it never really was the original trilogy to me. By the time I got into the series, the fourth one was already coming out, so it kind of felt part of the canon, even though you know it is not for most people.
See, I was ecstatic for it. I went.
Yeah.
I had my Indiana Jones whip.
Oh
I
wow!
had it was a fedora, but I still had my Indiana
Yeah.
Jones hat. Went to the movie. At the time, I thought I was like, okay, that was okay. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I didn't think it was bad. Or
I,
anything.
I thought it was great when I watched it. I was a kid, so I just thought it was, you know, I thought it was just kind of like, honestly just as good as the other ones. Like I
Mhm.
didn't think of much of it. And I actually we're gonna see it. I saw it actually in the same theater we're gonna see it.
Oh really?
Yeah, in the AMC 14. That was when I first moved here, man. It's taking me back now. Like
Damn, I thought that was closer.
we'll get straight into it. The intro. Welcome to the magical world of computer animation.
Literally, the
And
first thing you see is the gopher.
Yeah, the first thing you choose to show is a gopher.
Yeah, I mean, it really tells you where we
The
are.
era,
Oh, the
yeah,
era, like,
like
right
we're
away.
in the 50s. It's Elvis, Hot Rods. I mentioned American Graffiti. Lucas's, you know, movie in the 70s about the 1950s. This is clearly like a, if not like a reference, just like something that Lucas wanted to put in. I can see,
Mhm.
and it's both of their childhoods because
Oh,
now
yeah.
they're directing, or Spielberg is now he's directing an era that he's lived in. I think Kate Blanchett is one of the more memorable villains, honestly.
Her accent
is a
it's
little
okay.
bit weird.
It's okay.
But she's very memorable. I can remember that. You know,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can remember that bowl cut.
Probably, honestly, more memorable than like most of the villains in the series. Not gonna lie.
And then we're introduced to Indiana Jones. They make a big thing about it. They show his hat.
Oh, yeah.
He has great introductions in all of these movies, I gotta say. We'll see how Dial of Destiny trumps that. We'll probably see DH Harrison Ford and be like, oh.
Yeah.
I hope it's a Irishman situation and not a The Flash situation.
Well, have you seen? I think the first time I ever seen de-aging like that. Have you seen Tron Legacy?
That was one of the first.
Is that the first one?
I think that was the first example of that.
She was like, looking at it now, it's so terrible.
That was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was
more?
like 2011. I saw it in theaters. It was now it doesn't. I mean, back then it looked pretty good, but now it's kind of bad.
He's in that warehouse where they ship the raiders, where the Ark of the Covenant is, and she's looking for like a alien, I guess.
Yeah.
They kind of really like just reveal that like, oh, this is about aliens.
Yeah, right.
Pretty early on. And,
Well,
isn't it obvious? Isn't it incredibly obvious?
Well, it's weird how Indy's like, oh, it's really magnetic. You have like any bullets? Well, like when they walk in, they're fine. But then he throws them, and then they have like the gunpowder and the show like what he's talking
It's just
about.
automatically like,
yeah, it's like
it starts being magnetic when it's convenient.
Yeah.
It starts off very slow, and when I was watching this, I'm like, oh, this is kind of rough. And I'll say it right now, Harrison Ford phones it in.
Yeah, he does not want to be there.
Part time. Yeah, not the greatest performance from him, honestly.
Yeah,
I really hope he puts it up and brings it up in Dial of
This
Destiny.
is just part of his career where he like doesn't really want to do anything anymore. He just comes back for money once in a while.
Seems very unenthusiastic about the whole thing. But I will say the opening, like the first action sequence, is pretty riveting.
Oh, when they're in the storage.
Yeah, the storage facility. The
Oh,
chase.
yeah, Mac.
I like the part where he he thinks the car is closer, and he's like, "Damn, I thought that was closer." It's just classic Indiana Jones, and like, I personally think, at least in this warehouse, it lives up to the rest. Honestly, like,
Yeah.
there's no overt green screen. There's no obvious green screen in the sequence.
I mean,
Besides
later on.
Yeah, later on there is, but besides the lights that were moving that like signify the magnetic, the CG was pretty convincing, and the practical stuff obviously holds up. And I love the fight with the big brute Russian. We get two fights.
Yeah, it's the same
It's
guy
cool,
back
yeah.
back to back.
I love how he swings and just like boom, drop kicks him. Not drop kick. Well, I guess it's like a swing kick, like straight into the control panel. They have like this rocket thing, and like a couple of Russians get like burned to smithereens. Like he gets knocked out, and then he goes into Black Ops nuke town.
No, it's literally like I honestly like those places were real, right? They actually had new towns like that.
I feel like it's something real.
Because like I know they had like new testings, but I didn't know they actually like.
Okay, maybe not the working electricity in these nuke towns. Obviously,
Yeah.
I don't know how they have a working TV.
The water wasn't working, but the
TV was working.
No, honestly, I know people have a problem with this scene with the fridge.
I don't mind it.
I don't mind it either.
I mean, him surviving the fridge is less far-fetched than him getting out of the fridge and looking at the mushroom cloud
He's
from
really,
like
he would be dead
he's
from that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's so close to that explosion. He would die from radiation immediately. Yeah, so he escapes Area 51. He gets blasted by a nuke. The CIA accuses him of being a goddamn commie because of Mac, good old Mac, double crossing him. I don't like this character, Mac.
No, Mac-
I don't.
I mean-
Mac is annoying. You're not supposed to, but like
Jonesy.
But why is he Jonesy? Like, why is he going along with the ride? He essentially has no character. He's honestly my least favorite character of the series.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably like
so annoying.
I still don't like Willie. I think he's at number 2.
He can't even. I can't even convince you that Willie is the worst.
No. At least he has like a purpose. I mean, Willie has a purpose.
He has
too.
no purpose, and then they try to redeem him and have like a heart-to-heart when he dies.
Yeah, but it was
give
like-
me a fucking
yeah,
break.
that was, like, the last
Give me
minute.
a break. I hated this character. Like, he is a big flaw in this movie. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's pointless, and like they spend way too much time on him and Indy's relationship. So he gets fired essentially from his professing job.
And the guy who fired him is Professor Slughorn from Harry Potter. I don't know the
I knew that
actor's
guy
name.
looked familiar. Yeah, it's funny.
I don't know the actor. I just know him from Harry Potter.
Dude, he's a good defensive end. Oh, he's a potions teacher actually.
No, I think he was defensive against the dark arts in the 6th movie because.
No, Snape becomes the defense against. And
Oh,
then
that's
becomes
true.
The potion.
Yeah, because I know that there's from the books, there was a curse that Voldemort put on the school that the person who does defense against the dark arts can only do it one. There's only one teacher every year.
That's in the books.
Yeah,
That's never in the movies,
no,
but
yeah,
like that is actually kind of a cool thing.
yeah,
When is that? What book is that? Because I
I
did
don't
read some of
remember.
the books.
I don't remember, but it's a thing like that a teacher can't be against the dark arts for more than a year, and I think Snape knows that because remember how he doesn't really betray Dumbledore.
Oh my god, you put in a whole thing because he did that so kids don't like learn how to fend themselves against the dark arts, and like instantly like the whole population essentially of wizards, a whole generation of wizards are weak against him because they don't know how to defend themselves against him.
Yeah, but he's actually a good guy though. Snape.
Oh, Snape puts the curse?
No, sorry, Voldemort. Sorry.
Well, I'm saying that's actually like insane that like he would do something like that, and like that's like a
I forget what it was exactly. It was something like that. Yeah.
Cool, regardless.
Because like all like the teachers minus Snape are like kind of just like not good teachers at all.
Yeah. We should do Harry Potter.
Oh, I would. Yeah. I honestly, I don't think I need to watch anything for that. I think I'll be okay.
We meet Shia LaBeouf.
Mhm.
Indy just fucking books it. He's like, I'm going to New York.
I don't know how he found him, Shia LaBeouf. He's just like on his motorcycle and just sees him on a train. Are you
I
Dr.
think
Jones?
he's a professor.
Yeah.
You know, I guess he went to the college and they said, oh, he's at the train station. You're gonna miss him.
Oh, do you know what we forgot to mention?
He looks like
too?
Brando. I mean, they try to make him look like Brando from the Wild Ones in that shot. Shia LaBeouf explains that like his father like went looking for like these crystal skulls, and like he says that his mother knows Indy.
That's not his dad. That's
I know. Well, at this point, you don't know that. Well, he says,
No, I think he said his dad was a war hero, and Professor Oxley.
Oh, yeah. That's true. That's right.
Because he said his dad died in World War II.
Yeah.
And
That's a very Star Wars. Let's keep this from Luke moment.
Yeah.
If you're watching the movie
from a certain point of view,
if you're watching this movie from Shia LaBeouf's point of view, you could see this as like, I don't know, a hero's journey.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my dad's an archaeologist,
Yeah.
and blah blah blah, and it's clearly trying to. I really don't know if it's trying to pass the torch because the ending says something different.
Well, yeah, he takes the hat away, but
yeah, it's like, but I like that. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah,
Only one
it's
person
like,
could be.
yeah.
That's I. We'll get to the ending, but I
Yeah.
kind of like that. And then there's like a bar fight.
Oh yeah, it's like in the Greasers versus the Jocks.
He's like, that's my boyfriend, and he just fucking throws a knocker at Shia LaBeouf, and
you can tell how big fans Spielberg and Lucas were with
of the era,
50s, yeah.
Yeah, and I think this chase sequence is the best. Is when the movie peaks and is like,
yeah, this is the only movie that has real songs like "Shake, Rattle, and Roll" is plays here, and then you have
I mean, to be fair, Anything Goes. The thing that song number.
Oh yeah,
that's an actual musical from the 1930s. That's an actual song from the 1930s. Yeah. But like, of course, you're not gonna recognize any 1930s pop music because it's been so long, really. Like,
it's been so long since the 50s, and I recognize those songs.
But 50s is at least Sinatra.
Yeah.
You didn't have Sinatra in the 30s at all either. So like that, like you're looking at like Al Johnson and like
Al Johnson. He's the guy who did blackface.
Yeah, jazz singer.
Yeah,
first sound.
First sound movie. Yeah, I learned that in
Carbs class.
Carbs class. Yeah.
Shout out Carpenter.
Timothy Carpenter.
Shout out Carpenter.
Timothy Carpenter. No, you should get Carp on the podcast.
Carp? What movies? What do you think you would talk about? I think he's a Wolf of Wall Street type of guy.
He's very he's very conservative. So maybe like some conservative movies.
What, like fucking a John Wayne westerns or something like that?
Something like he's like American, like very pure American.
I mean, the Transformers. Those movies are very patriotic. It made me want to join the military, and then I realized, military paid for those movies.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I know the new one came out, but it's not Michael Bay.
Yeah.
If it's not Michael Bay, then I'm not gonna watch it.
To be totally honest with you, he gets a lot of shit, but like he brought some personality to those Transformers movies that
I
like
love those movies.
Will never, ever come back again in a major motion blockbuster, for better or worse. But 21 Guns with Megan Fox scandalously painting her motorcycle while Shia LaBeouf packs for college.
Yeah,
cinema.
No. I know one of the movies. I think it's like the third one.
Yeah,
they like talk shit about Megan Fox. Like, oh yeah, she was a terrible girlfriend.
Well, because she wasn't in it. She didn't want to do the third one. Yeah, I think it was the third one. They had like some other stand-in. Shia LaBeouf was still in that one.
Yeah, but they were like talking shit about her. Like, oh yeah, she was a terrible girlfriend. Oh, whatever. It's like I think Michael Bay was
kind of
like
just
upset.
shit on the character.
Yeah,
for no reason. That's like if in Indiana Jones he just talks shit about Marion. I love this. There's a sequence where like Indiana Jones goes through some cars.
Mm-hmm.
He goes through a car and then he jumps on the other side with Shia LaBeouf. That's pretty cool for his age.
For a man who's like supposed to be like 70
Yeah,
years old.
and it's all practical. It's like the CG is not prevalent at all because it's down like a road and shit like that. And I like, you always get that classic Indiana Jones chaos to driving in like a college college university.
Did you notice that the statue they hit was the statue of Marcus?
Yeah, and that's why he's very unhappy. Yeah. You had people protesting like the Red Scare.
Yeah.
And it's funny too because like this guy's like a misfit, like a punk, like biker, and he tells Indiana Jones like, I don't go to school. I'd rather do this.
Oh yeah,
and
he's
this.
like,
And
you know what? You do you.
You do you.
I respect that. Yeah.
And then afterwards, he's like, why the hell didn't you go to school? It's funny. It's funny. There's this movie. I probably should have said this in the beginning. I I think this is a good movie with bad moments.
It's not as bad people say it is. It's bad, but it's not like
People get hung up
really
on
bad.
a lot of the bullshit, like a lot of stuff that like I don't know. One of the students asked him like, "Oh, what is blah 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 blah?" It's like,
Oh yeah,
if
when
you
he's in the
want to be a
library.
good archaeologist,
Get
get
out
out
of
of
the
the library.
Yeah.
And it just goes away. They go to Peru. They go to like this ancient ruins, and this is when it gets kind of Temple of Doomy. Like when
Yeah.
it has these natives.
Yeah, they're looking for
with,
that
like,
one
skull
that's
face.
explorer.
Yeah, but
Oh, it's
beforehand they have a little fight tussle with the
Oh,
natives.
I like the part when he blows the dart into the other guy's mouth.
Yes, yes, that is like classic
That's
Indiana,
classic Indiana
Jones.
Jones.
I like the sequence. It's a little, samey again. Like there's another dungeon crawling. Like, oh, it's neat though. I like the little. There's like a little plate that like goes up and down. Shia LaBeouf, he has this funny line.
What do you
There's like a
say?
little rock, like on webbing, and he's like, "It's just a thing." And he just
Oh, yeah.
goes on. It was like I don't know. For some reason, that delivery made
I
me
mean,
laugh.
Shia LaBeouf really isn't that bad in this movie.
Yeah, I don't know why. I did people not like that he just has a kid? Is that what?
I just don't think they like Shia LaBeouf.
He's not bad though.
No,
he's
he's
not
not.
bad, and he's like pretty likable. Like
Yeah.
honestly, there's no. I can see honestly. I don't blame. I blame. I can see people like don't like Willie. Obviously.
Yeah.
I don't see like what the hate is with this guy besides he's just Shia LaBeouf. You know, like I don't know. He's level-headed. He eventually looks up to his father, and like what do you expect? Indiana Jones is kind of a deadbeat. He kind of
Well, yeah.
doesn't deserve.
He doesn't really.
He doesn't really deserve the love
Yeah,
that he gets
He's like,
from.
yeah, you're my dad, but like you're not. You're my father, but you're not my dad.
And they kind of like, once you go on a life-threatening adventure with your father, your bonding gets
It's
closer.
it's like the third movie. To say like
Indiana Jones is more of a dad to Short Round than he ever was to Shia LaBeouf.
100%. Like that's why I kind of want to see him in the new one. Honestly, like I
You
know
will
like,
not see him in the new one. That is one character that is like not showing up at all. That I give more props to Short Round showing up than Doug. That's his name.
Oh, that was Mike or.
I think he calls himself Doug.
Oh, his name's
he's like Doug. He says something like, "It's my name. You don't like it?" He gave himself that name because he's a punk, biker. They find the Crystal Skull. Talking about Dan Aykroyd, he has his own vodka, and that's like a Crystal Skull vodka.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's funny. I guess that's the Indiana Jones connection.
Was that before Indiana Jones or?
It was before Indiana. I mean, after Indiana Jones, but like, it wasn't like. It's not exactly like, but like the bottle comes in like a skull glass.
Oh, I think it's, that's his.
That's his vodka.
Oh,
yeah,
I've seen it
it's
before.
funny.
Yeah, I've seen
Crystal
that.
Skull. And I just found out he was in Temple of Doom. Like it's crazy. Ghostbusters and Temple of Doom. What a fucking year for him.
Have you seen Blues Brothers?
No.
That's such a great movie with him and John Belushi.
I should see it.
Low-key underrated. It's so good. And Carrie Fisher's in it too.
Oh, really? And then the Russians catch him.
Yeah.
Also, really kind of frightening seeing him open up a body that's like intact and then see it rot immediately right in front of him.
I mean, I don't know how
Kinda
real
reminded-
that is. Is that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. I really don't know. Like, maybe that's why people mummify and their body's still like skin. And I probably should do more research on that. They kidnap Indy. They take him to like this tent. They try to use like Russian mind control on him.
Well, yeah, no, because he listened to the scroll because that happened to Dr. Otsley or whatever his name is, and like
they're
for
trying to
some
make him
reason-
crazy so he can find it.
Yeah.
And then we meet Marion, one of the only characters that returns. you
Yeah,
know?
I think. I mean, her and Marcus are the only character. Oh, and Sala.
Yeah.
The only three characters that are in the movie that return pretty much.
I'm not a big fan of like returning characters besides Indiana Jones. I feel like every like adventure should have its own thing, but since Last Crusade broke that, bringing back other characters, I might as well bring out Marion.
I mean, I'd rather have her than someone else.
I like their dynamic. They don't really get much screen time. She's only in it for like a little bit. She doesn't join the crew until like fairly later on, but I think she's great, and I think like it's
I
kind
do
of
too.
cute seeing them together, and especially like what the movie is, and the movie is like a nostalgia trip as well.
Mhm.
Before
Yeah,
all this
they knew what they were
nostalgia,
doing, yeah.
This was kind of like the Force Awakens before. They were trying to do like a Force Awakens before Force Awakens, like
Yeah, but I think
redo
Force
the
Awakens is more nostalgic. Because like it's the same plot as A New Hope.
yeah, yeah. I could say the same thing with Last Crusade, man.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like I don't. It's just how you do it. It really is how you do it and when you do it.
No, if Last Crusade came out and Sean Connery wasn't in it, it'd be the same movie as Razor.
If it came out and if it came out like 20 years before, if it came out after like Raiders, like after a long time, it would. I don't know if it came out after like Raiders, like after a long time, it would. I don't know if it would be so
probably
highly
not.
regarded. We get a chase sequence in the jungle with Marion and not great.
Oh, is this? Oh,
It's shot on like a sound stage in the jungle, like it's what's supposed to be the jungle.
Oh, with the fencing and the.
Yeah, there's a lot of shitty CG.
It honestly looks pretty bad.
No, it's not good. The sword fight is not good. I mentioned that we saw a sword fight earlier. He did mention that he does fencing.
Yeah. Oh, I like how his mom is like, "Oh, lean with your left" or whatever. 'Cause, like,
Yeah.
he used the fence. It's not a match, mom.
I mean, the CG when he like have like CGI leaves like hit his crotch and shit like that. I'm like, I don't need that.
Well, what do you think of the monkey swinging?
That was so stupid. It's so stupid. I mean, we had a real monkey in the first one.
Yeah.
It's not that like the monkeys attacked them. It's the fact that it's like these weird CG goofy monkeys, like cartoon monkeys. The problem with the later sequels 3 and 4, they try to live in the shadow of Raiders a little too much.
Yeah.
They want to become Raiders. They want to be Raiders, and I'm sorry, you
You're not
can't be Raiders.
Yeah.
You can't be Raiders. The ending to Crystal Skull is kind of just like the best hits.
Yeah.
It's not the best hits, but it's kind of like a replication of, like, you have the chase, you have the big fight with the big brute, you have kind of like the Temple of Doomy stuff with the waterfall and stuff like that, and you got a little bit of the element of Last Crusade with the family dynamic with his son, and then you have the villain eventually. Their ambitions are too great, and they become.
What do you think of the scene when they return the skull, and like they all like come together to form the alien?
It's a cool visual,
and the
honestly.
alien just squints, and then her eyes burst the flames.
I wish it was a little bit more creatively done,
Yeah.
and a little bit more horrific.
Yeah, it was not
didn't
really.
It kind of felt comical.
He just looked at her,
And
and that was it.
Why did the alien have to be like a stereotypical, like,
Yeah.
beep beep boop bop, I'm here to invade you?
Well, I like.
alien?
We didn't mention like the paintings they saw, like that the Mayans had.
Yeah.
That those look better than the actual alien that we saw. Like there's like the green skin. And
You know what would have
they
been
had, like,
crazy if the crystal skull turned out to be like a xenomorph skull, and it was like it was like it would be like the xenomorph kind of looks like.
Oh yeah.
So like, imagine that's like the twist at the end of like, oh, this is actually that would be terrible, but honestly, that's how a studio head would think about it nowadays. How can we connect Indiana Jones with Alien? There you go, Disney. There you go, Disney. You own both 20th Century Fox and Indiana Jones, so go for it.
Well, I mean, the thing with the ownership is, isn't that more Paramount than Disney?
Paramount distributed the films because Lucasfilm was his own
Yeah.
thing. Disney bought Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
So Disney bought literally everything that George Lucas under that Lucasfilm and Indiana Jones.
Oh, I like the part when the UFO comes out of the temple.
The sound design was cool.
Yeah.
Right before the music, it has like this screeching woo. It's very cool. I don't have a problem with aliens existing in the Indiana Jones world.
No.
You have voodoo dolls. You have ghosts
Yeah.
who come out of covenants.
You have surviving nuclear explosions in a fridge.
You have apparitions of knights.
Yeah.
I think we're cool with they're not even aliens. They describe them as interdimensional beings.
Well,
so
yeah, they try to get away from.
They might not even be. They might be some part of plane that we don't even know. Like you don't even comprehend. Because like when she's like, "Show me everything," and her eyes explode. I'm just like, she just could not handle whatever they showed her or whatever.
Well, I actually prefer aliens over time travel. It makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
It's definitely more possible than
the Dial of Destiny. What do you think a dial is?
I saw the
Dial's
trailer.
a
It
time
looked,
thing. Time travel is a little bit iffy when you introduce it into your
but
universe.
that's why I love Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite Harry Potter movie,
They somehow managed to introduce time travel
and never used it again.
and never and, like that's something you typically bring up like the last thing. Like
Yeah.
Endgame technically brought up time travel to the MCU with the whole quantum thing when they go back to the events of the previous movies. That's just that's such a universe breaking thing, and it's very tricky to
Yeah,
put
but
it in a
that's why I
series.
love that movie because they use
Yeah.
it once and never again, which is a very smart thing that they did.
They actually use it in the Cursed Child.
Yeah, well,
which
that
is-
doesn't
yeah,
that doesn't count.
I actually saw the play. It's actually pretty good.
Oh, it's good. Well, I mean, I read the book and it's like
It's not.
yeah.
It's made out for a
Yeah,
play.
it's a play. Yeah. But I remember I bought it because I was excited, and I knew it was a play. I still read it. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
The marketing fucked up. They marketed it as the 8th Harry Potter book.
Yeah.
That's not what it is.
No,
It's a fun play. It's like, it's a fun follow-up.
Well, I do like how they make Harry some like a delinquent, or not a delinquent, but like he's not, like Harry's like this, like this hero.
Yeah, he doesn't live up to his father in a way, and they kind of make Malfoy that relative like kind of like the one to sympathize from. If you remember.
Yeah, I read it once and like never again.
It was good.
Oh, what would you rank or rate?
Well, I wanted to say
Because
one other thing. I like the end. I like the little epilogue at the end with the wedding. I liked seeing them get married. It puts a nice, as rocky as this movie is, it puts a nice bow in the series as well.
It does.
It doesn't. It somehow manages to end the movie. It manages to like stick the landing, at least for me. Again,
Yeah.
like the ending is just as I could see it as an ending. Like, oh, Indiana Jones happily gets married to the one, the special one, the one that we've seen first in his first adventure.
I do prefer the Last Crusade ending though.
Oh yeah. Like I'm not but I'm saying if they had to make another ending. And I love how is kind of like reinstates that no one else could be Indiana Jones because they try to tease around with Shia LaBeouf being the the next Indiana Jones. The window, the doors break out, he picks up the hat, and they're like, nah. There's only one Indiana Jones.
And there is only there only is one, and I'm happy they did it like that.
And then there's another one. And there'll be another one.
It'll probably be okay.
Yes, but how are you gonna end it any more satisfying than those two endings?
They might actually like
I
have
love
him die because he's like 80 years old.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I love how it's just like, like you think like if it as much hate as this movie gets, if it ended here, people would say like, oh, at least they didn't take up the mantle. They didn't like. I love what the ending says. It says like literally like, can't replace him, and it's funny. The last image you see of this movie is Shia LaBeouf just with his head down at the church. I'm like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, after that movie, Shia LaBeouf, I mean, he had like a couple more.
It's all downhill from here. He's probably thinking about that. It's all downhill from here.
Because he had Even Stevens, and he had Transformers, and then this
Holes.
movie.
Don't forget Holes.
Oh, Holes, great movie.
Love Holes.
Peaches.
Yeah. So after this, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, and then the third one, and then he did Fury. You remember that one?
Is that Mark Wahlberg or is that still Shia LaBeouf?
That's the one with Brad Pitt. It's a war movie.
See, to me,
think of the Lone Survivor.
They're all the same. They all look the exact same.
You've probably seen like screenshots. He's like roughed up in a tank. He's like Brad Pitt.
I've seen all the Shia LaBeouf ones, and I saw the first Mark Wahlberg one. That was it.
No, I'm talking about this war movie, Fury.
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
you mean yeah.
And then a bunch of art films.
Well,
I like him in Honey Boy. If you ever seen that.
I mean, he did have a meme for like years.
Oh, he had two memes.
Well, Do It.
Yeah, Just Do It, which is iconic, of course. And do you remember the play Shia LaBeouf, like the song?
No.
Ravishing a knife.
Oh,
Shia
yeah.
LaBeouf. He's all on all fours. Shia LaBeouf. And then at the end, he's like clapping.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Honestly, pretty iconic. Honestly, I don't know. The last time I seen him was I think he's gonna be in the new Francis Ford Coppola movie.
Which one?
It's called Megalopolis. It's supposed to be his grand opus, even more than The Godfather. So
Is this his last movie?
I assume so. He's pretty up there in age, Coppola.
He's like
I think
At
he's
least
80.
like
I think
80
he's,
something.
yeah, he's in the 80s. Yeah, and he's been making films for 50 years. He made The Godfather 50 years ago.
Was
so.
The Godfather his first movie?
No, he made a few movies, like in the 60s. I think Dementia 13 was like a Psycho ripoff, by Roger Corman. I'm sorry, I'm going over like Hollywood history.
No, you're good. Man.
Yeah, it's a Roger Corman film. From
Yeah,
the
I've
60s
never
that he
heard
made.
of
Overall, I think Crystal Skull, like I said, good movie, bad moments. I think it's worthy of the series. Call me crazy. Maybe it's because I grew up with it that it feels so synonymous with the series that I'm willing to look over like the bad CG and stuff like that. I hate the character Mac though.
Yeah, he's definitely up there with Willie.
So I would give this like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say 6 out of 10 also. Very, very average. It's not
It's
bad.
average.
It's
No, it's average.
It's not
It's
bad
average
at
and
all.
it's not bad. It's like if it wasn't an Indiana Jones movie, I would honestly be like, that was a alright movie.
I would have forgotten about it right away.
You would have forgotten about it, but you wouldn't have called it bad like
Yeah.
everyone else does. You know, like I think people need to calm down a little bit about the hatred.
But yeah, if it wasn't Indiana Jones, I would watch it once. That wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Never think about it ever again.
Of course, it would be like the one Shia LaBeouf, Harrison Ford action movie from the 20.
Yeah.
Like Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Yeah,
You've seen that?
I have seen that.
I
Yeah.
think that came out the same year. It would fit into that type of.
With the dinosaurs. And,
Yeah. I feel like that would be like if it wasn't an Indiana Jones movie. To be fair, it's also directed by Spielberg, so that's another big thing. And it's a thing that kind of concerns me about the new one. No Spielberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of.
Is it Lucasfilms at least?
James Mangold, who directed Logan.
Okay.
And Ford v Ferrari.
I do love Logan, so.
Yeah. All right, Ryan. We finished all the movies. If you listened to this far, thank you. But before we leave, rate the Indiana Jones series.
From best to worst?
Yeah.
All right, so best, definitely Raiders. Then we got Temple of Doom.
Oh, thank you.
Last Crusade, and then
that's how
Crystal
I
Skull.
too.
And then probably the new ones will be the last
honestly, I'll be that guy. I'll put Temple of Doom over Raiders.
All right, yeah. No, honestly, like I could change it because I honestly like Temple of Doom. I thought it was gonna be really bad because I remember people saying how bad it was, and I rewatched it. It's not bad at all.
Oh,
it's really good.
I used to think I was legit crazy. Like I think it was the first movie someone ever told me like that movie sucks and you, like why do you like that movie? I think it was like literally that's why I'm so passionate about defending it because I think it was my dad who is a big Last Crusade guy, and that's a father-son dynamic. I get it, but like my dad loves Last Crusade. Always said, Ethan, why do you like this one? This one's like it has the kid. Isn't he annoying? Don't you find him annoying? He found Short Round annoying. I was like,
not annoying at all. I mean, people find if Short Round was like yelling and screaming, complaining, but he's not at all. He's just a kid.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna have to go with Temple of Doom as my favorite. I do wish Indiana Jones, instead of like in the third one he went back to like Egypt. Here's a few locations I wish he went to. Australia.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's where Max from. Your favorite character.
Exactly. Could have been to Australia, Japan.
Yeah,
that would have been cool in the 1940s. Why didn't he fight? That's kind of I find that very baffling. He didn't fight Japanese. Sure, you might run into dangers of falling into some stereotypes, but it's fascist Japan. Okay, fascist Japan.
He didn't even go to Russia once.
He didn't go to Russia. He did fight commies. And it was the Cold War, so it's a little bit different. There's a lot of espionage, but like I'm surprised he didn't fight like the Japanese, like fascist Japan during the I'm surprised that wasn't the direction they went with the third one.
Well, I mean,
figures they would have done that,
well,
right?
I mean, I get why they did Nazis because everyone can agree that they hate Nazis.
Yeah, and like in the 1930s, those were the bad guys, and like I said, the only reason why they made Temple of Doom a prequel is they didn't want to do Nazis, so they figured, let's just do it a little bit before.
A movie like Temple of Doom after Raiders of the Lost Ark they're very different, but like a good.
And
way.
like, I love Raiders just as much. Yeah, Ciaffi.
Anyway, it's a pleasure as always.
Until next time.